If athleisure was a radio show, this would be that radio show. Bo Bishop, a man of fine taste and Montana class.
My wife will try and drag me to like an Easter brunch buffet, and I don't even like that because I don't like everybody standing over food I'm going to eat.
Friends with the highest intellectuals.
We found out the hard way. We have white furniture. That's all I'll say.
What a mess.
Oh, God. Holy
Literally.
An athlete, coach, husband, and father.
That drives me nuts. My kids are, I'm him. Shut up. Are you kidding me? You're 9. You're not him. I don't even know what the hell that means.
And two guys who are considerable downgrades from a former football player.
You were saying the Olympics wasn't interesting you yesterday. Well, can I offer you 50 seconds of interest?
50 seconds of interest is a similar pitch I make to my girlfriend on a nightly basis.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Oh, baby, we're inching closer. Let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo the boys with you for the next 3. Cole here, Reese here as well. Paul Finebaum dropping by at 10:33. The Jackets open tonight in Minnesota. We will have a little bit of Shelly time for you coming up at 11:33. You know, it is special when you get a little bit of Shelly time back on the docket. Emails and a lot of them coming up at 10 o'clock. Is Oregon now the best road trip in the Big Ten for Buckeye fans? We will dig in on that in the second hour of the program as well. And, of course, Reese will continue to not only beat the house, but build you a house with his NFL picks as he continues to thrive on that side of things. I had a very interesting night last night. So, first of all, let's go back. This would have been fall. Beamsy was a newborn, so this would have been fall of 13. Yeah, fall of 13. Fall/winter of 13. We were in Wedgwood at the time. We were living off Chippenham, great neighborhood, loved it there. And my dad was in town. And there was some commotion. So we had the newborn baby, and then NBC, now 12, was a little over 2. So at that time, and if you're a parent, you know how critical, like, once you get a baby to sleep, like, you walk around the house like a ninja because you don't want to make a single peep. Like, if you can get a newborn to sleep, my God, you just stay quiet. You're doing hush tones. You'll talk in corners of a remote portion of the house just to make sure that nobody awakens the sleeping baby. So on this particular night, and it was around. It was definitely around, I feel like it was October, November. The weather felt like it felt last night, a little cooler maybe. I noticed that there was something that was amiss outside. And as I was peeking out the windows, I noticed that there were a group of young boys who were going around and doing the time-honored tradition that young boys do, which is ding-dong ditch. Okay, so this is what they were doing. So they were walking through the neighborhood, and they were ding-dong ditching, and then they would run and they would hide in bushes and so forth and so on. And that was a neighborhood, even in those days, that had there was certainly the Ring cameras were starting to get out there, and there were some surveillance and that type of stuff. So they went to our house, and my wife opened the door, and they ran, and she yelled. And they came again, and she ran. She opened the door, and she yelled, and they ran and giggled. So I looked at my dad, and I said, well, I think maybe we ought to do something about this. And he was, it's 10 years ago, so he was in his late 60s. He was game. He was more than game. So I said, let's go handle him. So we put on dark attire. I put on like a winter cap, and we went outside, and I could see them coming. They had their phones. They weren't the brightest because adolescent boys aren't. So they had their phones, and their phones were lighting up in their shorts that they were wearing. So you could see everywhere they were the whole time. So we were hiding in the bushes. And they did our neighbor's house and then took off running across the street into our yard where my dad and I were waiting. And they were probably 7th graders, I would say. They were probably 12, 13. And we screamed at them. They took off running like bats out of hell. My dad, in his 60s, in cowboy boots, chased them. They're screaming as if they're in a horror movie. He's chasing them through the yard, chasing them through neighbors' yards. I look around, what the hell is he doing? I'm taking it a bit farther. I grab one of them, and the kid goes, "Who are you?" And I said, "I'm Batman."
Vengeance.
That's who I am. That's right.
You are justice.
That's right.
Your dad's John Dutton.
He was chasing him.
Like,
It was insane. It's absolutely insane.
I wonder if I mean, and I'm sure he's probably told you similar stories of folks that come onto his property.
Oh, he'd shoot.
That's the line you go to. You're like, you're lucky this isn't Montana, and you're lucky I'm not loaded.
Yeah, I don't know that he'd necessarily shoot a kid, but he definitely would, and I say that only sort of confident.
Not a lot of confidence in that.
He would absolutely shoot a shotgun into the air if he saw someone on the property. So that's fact. So I told the kid, I said, listen, bud, I knew who he was. He was a kid from down the street. I said, listen, don't do this in your own neighborhood, for starters. Second of all, if you're going to be doing this, you got to be a little bit smarter. You guys aren't even dressed in black. I can see your phone. Like, you got to be a little better with what you're doing. You cover your faces so he can't identify you. And most importantly, don't ever do it in your own neighborhood, you dummies. There's 1,000 neighborhoods. Pick another one. Walk over there. Do it over there. So fast forward to last night. I'm watching the baseball. Yeah, Reese, I was watching the baseball, and I was transfixed by it.
It delivered if you were a casual.
It was unbelievable. I mean, I watched it. It was perfect for me because I'll flip. You know me. I'm a flipper. I still have my cable. So I would watch I'd watch a half inning of baseball, and then I would watch 15 minutes or 6 to 7 minutes of Top Gun Maverick. So how do you beat? You cannot. I know you haven't seen it. It's a great film.
I heard it's good.
Good premise. They really landed the plane on it, as it were. And so you can watch 6-7 minutes of this, and then I'll go back and I'll watch another half inning. So it was thrilling. We'll get to all that in a second. I get a text from my neighbor, Doc Meyer, and he goes, "Recognize these idiots? It's my 12-year-old and his moronic friends ding-dong ditching in our neighborhood. My 12-year-old has become the idiot that I grabbed 10 years ago. He has now become that." So the morons, because they're off, because I don't know, they get parent-teacher conferences, fall break, I don't know why. So they had 6 of them over here last night. So they come over. I go, "Is this, you guys doing this? You guys, you bozos?" "Oh, yeah, Mr. Bishop. Yeah, Coach. Yeah. I'm like, I told him the same thing I told that poor kid in Wedgwood. Not here. Not on home field. Take it down the road, brother. Take it down the road. Cover your faces. Now, for sure, everybody's got a ring or everybody's got surveillance of some sort. Don't be a bozo." It came full circle. A decade later, it's my idiot kid who was doing it. So that's what I did last night. In addition to the baseball, which was absolutely thrilling, I heard Mike talking about this with Brother Bone yesterday, and I thought it landed the plane. He said, there is nothing quite like a World Series game. And he's talked about how he went to a game, he went to in 2005 when the White Sox won the World Series and went by himself to Comiskey, which is so on brand and so perfect. And I would actually find very enjoyable. I would like to do that too, like just go to a game by myself. And he's right. I've been to one World Series game. It was game 1 between the Indians and Cubs. And there is nothing quite like it. And so after he said that, I said, you know what? I'm going to give the baseball a chance. It's the first Friday. The series are incredibly intriguing across the board. We had talked yesterday a little bit about how the ratings in all of them were a little bit more robust than we thought that they were going to be, upwards of 4 million into the threes. So there was something about these matchups that a lot of people liked. And then aside from being a Guardians fan, Reese, for all of the rest of them, for the casual observer, this was sensational. You got to see Francisco Lindor hit a grand slam in New York, and then it got dicey. Even at 4-1, Diaz comes in, and I thought he was going to blow it in the 9th. I thought he was going to give it all back, and that's a tortured fan base, to say the least. He doesn't. He holds on. Meantime, you have this electric start out west with the Dodgers, and they went straight bullpen session the whole way. Everybody got an inning, and Betts hits a home run to get that thing started, which was thrilling. And then Giancarlo Stanton at Kauffman in Kansas City. So, look, postseason baseball, if you can unlock it and you can watch it, it does deliver. And yesterday, I think, was about as good a day as you're going to have. Every one of the games was great, unless you had a rooting interest in the case of the Gardos.
Yeah, because Guardians and the Padres, everybody else, I think, had a pretty good day. Like, even if you're the Phillies, to your point, when Edwin Diaz goes in there, you're like, they get the trumpets, you get the entire introduction.
I thought he was going to blow it.
It's like, whoa, that could turn on you quickly, but you also get as a casual baseball fan, the splendor of a grand slam in the postseason. I mean, that 6th inning shot by Francisco Lindor, and to see Citi Field go bonkers like that should be on every baseball advertisement from here until the end of time. I mean, that's the feeling that postseason baseball brings you. I mean, that's the highest of highs. But even for the casual fan, that's the magic of October. And yeah, sure, the Guardians, I told Shark this after, during the handoff, they can't go 29 innings without a run, can they?
I don't know. Are you sure?
We'll find out tonight at 6.
They finally get a night game.
Not feeling great about that.
No, they were pretty excited for the Tigers to be playing at Comerica. 45,000 people there.
I didn't know that, one, that's a 24-year-old ballpark, and two, that was the most they'd ever put in, but they hadn't had a playoff game in more than 10 years, so that made sense. And if you're just parachuting in, you're a casual Detroit sports fan, that keeps you for 9 innings.
Oh, gosh, of course it does. And it's the one thing about it, and this is the part that I wanted to circle back to because when I was listening to Mike talk about this yesterday with Brother Bone, and they're exactly right. The reason that the postseason baseball is so thrilling is because unless you get a big early run lead, like the Dodgers did yesterday with the Padres, unless that happens, you are hanging on every pitch. And it's not over until you get the outs. So you don't have the clock, right? Ticking, going, oh, this is almost over. There isn't that. You've got to get 27 outs. That's the way it goes. So I think that's what all of that leads into it. It was a magical night. It was really fun. The idiots. Eventually I had to lock the morons in the house, and I had.
Yeah, how do you wrangle
setting
that?
The alarm, dummies. I'm setting the alarm. So if trust me, I work tomorrow. I know you guys don't, and you don't have school, and it's. Whatever they do, 68,000 days off in the calendar year. But I do. And if that alarm goes off in the middle of the night, you're not going to want to deal with it. I'll go old school John Dutton Pops and we'll start scaring some kids. I do have an idea for the next time though. Do you remember the Jason mask?
Yeah, I thought you were going to do Freddy Krueger. Should I? I don't need to be whispering, I guess. You do.
Yeah,
I don't.
Yeah, I do. What I'm going to do is the next time they do it, I'm going out in a trench coat and the Jason mask, and I'm going to scare the hell out of them. That's the next plan. If they stay over again and they try this little scheme, revenge will be sweetly served. And I'm going to get Doc Meyer to help me. He's got some scalpels.
I was about to say, recruit the neighborhood.
Yeah. Doc Meyer's in. I ran this plan by him last night. He's like, dude, in. So he's ready. He's got scalpels. I think we can do some things to him the next time this happens. You are inching closer to the Buckeyes out in Eugene against the Ducks. We know what the Ducks will be wearing. Do we have an idea what the Buckeyes will be wearing for the cross-country trip? You'll hear from Coach Day on that. It is an opening night in the NHL for your Columbus Blue Jackets. They are in Minnesota in what will be one of the most trying, difficult seasons for a franchise that's had a lot of them. We'll get into that coming up next. Lots of football over the course of the next 3. Some great emails from you guys as well. We're off and running. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Voss Brothers Power Equipment, where you get the right lawn and garden equipment for the job. Voss Brothers Power Equipment, where you'll find pros who know their stuff who don't give you the runaround. Visit them at their Powell location on Sawmill Road for all your John Deere equipment needs, like one of their John Deere XUV 835M Gator utility vehicles. If you need power equipment, you need Voss Brothers Power Equipment. Come on in and get to know them by name at their Powell location on Sawmill Road. Voss Brothers Power Equipment, delivering enjoyment in mowing since 1989.
No. First down!
Oh, what? Just cleared that drain last week.
Well, clearly that didn't work. Would you please just call the waterworks?
At the Waterworks, we mean clean. We'll get your drains good as new on the first down. And as for him, well, there's always the Buckeyes. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better results.
At Byers Auto, we've been football fans since 1897, back when tailgates had actual tails. Our legacy of supporting our local team is as strong as our commitment to providing exceptional vehicles. While we're known for our new cars, we also offer a variety of pre-owned vehicles that meet our rigorous standards. Our friendly staff is here to help you find the perfect vehicle for your lifestyle and budget. Visit us in person or shop online at buyersauto.com. Come see why it's better to buy at Byers.
There's nothing like having Common Man and T-Bone resting on your bosom.
Oh, for someone with no breasts, you've done very well for yourself.
Gross. Pick up the latest T-shirt in the fan store or pick up merch from a show you actually like. We even have Ohio State and jacket stuff. Head to 971thefan.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And when it comes to fall, we often think of those cooler temperatures, the trees changing colors, the bonfires in the evening, and of course, football season. We less often think of those home projects that we've been neglecting or failed to finish up before those harsh Ohio winter hits. If you need to have your roof inspected or it's on your to-do list, you can ensure that Newman Roofing will get you ready for those harsh winter storms. The team over at Newman has you covered, and they're family-owned and locally operated right here in Central Ohio since 1992. The 3 generations that have been in the roofing industry, they have the expertise to handle any issue you may be facing with your roof. Folks, they took care of my roof. They did a fantastic job. They're the experts, and they will give you the white glove treatment because when your name is on it, it just means more. So if you need your roof repaired or replaced this fall, call the company you can trust. That's Newman Roofing at newmanroofing.com or 614-NEW-ROOF.
Hear that? That's the sound of Bernie Moreno shredding evidence to avoid paying his employees. You see, Moreno refused to pay his employees the overtime pay they earn, so they sued him. And after a court ordered Moreno to keep the evidence of his wage theft, what did he do? That's right. He shredded it. Moreno even admitted to shredding evidence in court. He was found liable for wage theft, and a court forced him to pay over $400,000. Innocent people don't shred evidence. And now that Bernie Moreno is running for Senate, he doesn't want to talk about how he was caught ripping off his employees. And that begs the question, do you want a guy like that representing you in the Senate? Bernie Moreno, you can't trust him to be for you. The United Association of Plumbers and Pipefitters paid for and is responsible for the content of this ad. UA.org, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Cold out there right now, but it does warm up to around 70 by the afternoon. Plenty of sunshine. 43 is your nighttime low tonight. Mostly sunny with a high of 75 on your Friday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecasts on 97.1 The Fan.
Not interested in Iowa football? Too bad. Shops will tell you about it anyway. This is Bishop and Friends.
Looking for tickets to the 2025 Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series game at the Shoe. The Fan is giving away tickets to the biggest Jackets fans. Here's how you can win a pair of them. Go to 971thefan.com. Describe what makes you the biggest fan and upload those pictures. The top 10 biggest fans is decided by the fan selection panel. Win a pair of tickets to the game. Must be entered by 11:59 p.m. on October 13th. The game is set for Saturday, March 1 at the Shoe. The Jackets battle the Wings. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com or on the Ticketmaster app. We had Porty on yesterday. Jackets opening the season tonight in Minneapolis. Or is that stadium in St. Paul? God, where's Threes when you need him? Anyway, they're playing the Wild in Minnesota tonight, 8 o'clock. Fan pregame, 7:30. Porty was on yesterday, and he said, we were talking about expectations and how to judge this team. And one of the things he said is, boy, you hope that they're at least in the mix at the time of the Stadium Series game. It's hard for me to imagine that. St. Paul, Reese? Okay. MIT kids had it.
Yeah, the XL Energy Center.
Yeah. I don't see any scenario how this team is going to be in the mix on March 1st. This is a roster that is being rebuilt. It is a brand new front office for the first time in a long time. There are some young talent, but that's probably something loyal Blue Jacket fans have heard for a very, very long time. And eventually you need that young talent to become NHL stars. They've done it here. They've had some moments, and they've had some guys who have come up and shined big and eventually gotten to the point where they are respectable in the mix. This year, this team is not that. This is a a roster that is lacking a ton of top-line NHL talent. It is a roster and a franchise that was rocked by tragedy with the stunning and just horrific loss of Johnny Gaudreau. And so how do you do that? And we'll ask Jody some of these things when he joins us for Shelly Time for the first one of the season at 11:33. But my God, I don't know that there's a more snake bit organization in sports than this one. Truly, over the time that they've been here. I mean, you're talking about incredible grief and tragedy in what, 2 of the last 3 off seasons. It's just so much to try to overcome. I think that if you're looking for positives, the change in leadership at the top is among it. I think there's something that makes a lot of sense there. Porty said that new coach Dean Evison was a guy that a lot of the guys in the room were saying, hey, we need someone to ride us. We need some structure. He will provide that. I think it's something that the previous administration was trying to do. With the hiring of Mike Babcock, it was just misguided, but that's what they were looking for was similar to that in terms of a guy there would be an accountability and that type of thing. And maybe they've landed the plane with Evis and we don't know. This will be a building year more than anything else. This will not be a team that can chase it. You look at any national prognostication on what this team will be, and most people have it as either the worst or second worst team in the NHL. I haven't seen one that's had it better than that. I don't know if this is, I'm not Bob McKenzie. I don't know if this is some draft where you're going to land a generational player. Who knows? In hockey, that's so hard. You think about Bedard when he comes through and, McDavid, but it's so difficult to try to be in a position to land one of those guys. Here's what I do know. If you draft a bunch in the top 5, you hit on a lot of those guys, away you go. So I'm talking about Kent Johnson. I'm talking about Fantilli. You're talking about Lindstrom, who they drafted last year. Those are the guys that if this is going to be done right and eventually be something of significance, then those guys need to take baby steps this year and then big steps at some point. Evison was on the inside edge, and obviously he's returning home. He was in Minnesota for a long time, and he spoke about the opener.
Am I excited? Yeah, 100%. And I've said this before. Everybody's like, well, is it just another game? Of course it's not another freaking game. I mean, we're going to the team that fired me, and we're playing the first game. Sure, yeah, it's important. But is it more important than game 14 to win? No.
So he's likable.
That'll fly.
You're going to like him.
It seems, and it was really strange, what they tried to do with Tortorella, and you shy away from Tortorella to get guys that aren't as hard-nosed hockey guys, and obviously then what happens with Babcock. And so with Evison, it feels like they want to return to that, but get someone a little bit more likable. Mm-hmm. And it all does depend on how he gels and how he meshes with the younger guys. Can Adam Fantilli, in his second year, first season under Evison, make steps to be the future of this franchise? Signs point to yes last season until he got injured. So he takes a big step there. And obviously, some of the other guys, like you had mentioned, if they can improve upon past performances. But for me, it also comes down to what they're doing with their goaltending. Because this team can't make a run if you're not getting Vezina-level play out of your netminder. And I don't know what he was able to do, what Don Waddell was able to do to get Elvis Merzlikins back into the fold. I think it would have taken a Herculean effort to try to get rid of both Elvis and Laine. They were able to move Laine, but you got Jet Greaves starting in Cleveland. Daniil Tarasov is going to be the backup. So at what point do you decide if Elvis is the guy or not for the next couple of years?
That's what the season's
about. So important.
Yeah, that's what the season's about. It's about those type of questions. Yeah, it's baby steps. It's trending. It's hoping you see flashes. The losses are going to outnumber the wins. I mean, that's just it. Just prepare for it. So I am not going to. We always do the thing on the program like, all right, set an expectation. How are we going to judge it, right? So Buckeye football, pretty easy. Go win the national championship. Buckeye basketball this year, they were pretty active in the portal. It's a nice roster. Go make the tournament. Go make the tournament. Get to the second weekend. That's an expectation. This Jackets team for the last several years has been challenged for the 8. This ain't that. This ain't challenged for the 8. And they've already got injuries. Voronkov's down, Jenner down, like already starting to stack. Cole, you're wearing you got your jersey in here. You're locked in. I honestly, when I saw Cole this morning, first time I saw him, I thought you were wearing a Stars jersey because I just saw the top of the star. I thought you were wearing a Dallas Stars Kelly green.
It's weird. The only Jackets sweater, to be technical, that I have is this like sort of St. Patrick's Day themed one.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I just looked at it today and I'm like, you know what? This is the day to wear it.
This is the day to wear it.
I'm actually technically wearing the wrong colors because they're going to Minnesota.
Out of your green.
I know.
You showed up to work. I mean,
out of my green, I rise.
It'll be it'll be a hell of a couple of days for this team because obviously the first game, you'll play it away, and then Saturday they're in Colorado, and then next Tuesday you have everything that'll happen with opening night at Nationwide Arena.
When Porty said yesterday that the Gaudreau's parents were going to be there Tuesday, jeez. Yeah. I don't know how you'd... And he's right. The organization has crushed everything on that front as well as you could deal with a tragedy of that level. They've done as good as you can do. But at the same time, like, it's something that is going to be there all year. It's something you're never going to be able to shake. I saw the video that the NHL put together, which was just so beautifully done last night, that is playing in a lot of the arenas. And so, yeah, this is going to be a very difficult season because it will be done with that as the backdrop. And then beyond it, just such a young team that's going to have to try to find its way. I do think you can have some fun along the way, though. If Kent Johnson starts to go, if Adam Fantilli starts to go, if those things happen, then you can have some individual moments, but collectively it's going to be tough, Reese.
Porty said this yesterday, and if you want to go back and listen to his interview, we'll have it. That's at 971 BFS, YouTube, wherever you get your podcast. But matter in March. That March 1st game at the Horseshoe against the Detroit Red Wings matter. And not to say they're going to be competing for the 8, not to say they're making a playoff push, but have it so you're not just throwing guys out there from Cleveland.
Yeah.
Make that matter, that they've given you an outdoor series game, and make it competitive up to that point so that there's at least something to play for.
Lot to play for Saturday night in Eugene. Buckeyes head out there tomorrow for the date with the Ducks. Ryan Day on the practice tone this week, the travel plans, and Chip Kelly's ability to run this offense the way that he wants. Plus, do we have a little bit of a lean into what the two teams could be wearing on Saturday? We'll get to that as well. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Buckeyes head out west to Battle, Oregon. Keep it locked on The Fan all week for all the analysis, conversation, and whatever the hell Man and Bone do. The Fan.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at BlueJackets.com.
Trust and Will knows that you're likely celebrating a loved one's birthday this month because fall is the most popular birthday season in America. And Trust and Will celebrates by protecting what matters most. Trust and Will makes estate planning easy and affordable, designed by attorneys but customized by you. Visit trustandwill.com with offer code Columbus for 10% off. That's trustandwill.com, offer code Columbus. Trust and Will is an online service providing legal forms and information. It is not a law firm and is not a substitute for the advice of an attorney.
This is Ryan Krieger, and at Krieger Ford, we know life's busy. Let us handle your car care. Enjoy our convenient pickup and delivery service, or have our technicians come to you with our mobile service van. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today, only at KriegerFord.com.
Football fans, are you ready to score big this NFL season? Hey, it's T-Bone to tell you that Bud Light and 97.1 The Fan have teamed up for the ultimate football face-off. Join us each week for football face-off events and your chance to win a trip to Vegas where you'll compete for the grand prize, a trip for 2 to New Orleans or the Super Bowl. Drink Bud Light, enjoy the games, and take your shot at football glory. This week, join me on Sunday at Donnericks on North High for the Browns-Eagles game. I'll be there from 2 to 4 p.m. to give you a shot at going to the Super Bowl.
We are Ortho Alliance. Together, we deliver the most experienced orthopedic care near you and throughout Central Ohio. Together, we provide expert care when you need it with same-day and next-day appointments. We put our patients' care first, from physical therapy to the most challenging joint replacement surgeries. We are JIS Orthopedics, Ortho Neuro, Orthopedic Associates of Zanesville, Orthopedic Foot and Ankle Center, and Orthopedic Specialists in Sports Medicine. And we are better together. Visit orthoalliance.com or call 877-WE-ARE-OA.
If you miss a little, you'll miss a lot. Search for your favorite fan shows wherever you get your podcasts and subscribe. Every episode comes right to your phone absolutely free. Modern technology, it's a hell of a thing. Do it now. The Fan.
It's Rocktober, baby!
It's Rocktober at Lindsay Honda.
Save with 1.9% financing up to 60 months on every new Lindsay Honda, combined with the Lindsay Difference Package. A value of $1,295 included with every vehicle purchase. We're about going the extra mile to provide you with these unique benefits. Turn up the noise with Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference.
With approved credit on select in-stock 24-25 Honda models. Dealer contribution may affect consumer cost.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with savings on hundreds of items every time you shop. With new low prices, deals for days, weekly sales, and My Perks at your neighborhood Giant Eagle. Visit gianteagle.com for details.
Bring the thrill of the stadium to your wallet with the Love My Crew checking account from Pathways, the only checking account that rewards you for being a Crew fan. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Get organized with a new Dakota Closet system on sale now at Menards. Dakota Closets are versatile and can be installed anywhere, from home offices and laundry rooms to walk-in or reach-in closets, and even kids' playrooms. Dakota Closets can be installed with just a screwdriver, and they're available to take home today, giving you more time to organize. Design your dream setup using our 3D closet planner. You create closets in-store and on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text BREAK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text BREAK to 321-321. That's BREAK to 321-321.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by High Bank Distillery, home of the best blended whiskey in America. Grab a bottle or dine in at their 2 restaurant locations in Grandview and Gahanna. Drink local, drink High Bank.
And here's what's up on a Thursday edition of the program. The Buckeyes heading west. They will do so tomorrow for their first trip to Eugene since 1967. I mean, that's like Animal House era Eugene. At that time, you're going back into there. Neither of you have probably even seen Animal House. You're both too damn young. The Buckeyes heading out there for the first time in a long time. They will fly tomorrow, which I thought was a little interesting. Let's start there. Here's Ryan Day on the Buckeyes heading to Oregon on Friday, not today.
Yeah, we'll leave kind of mid-morning and get out there and then kind of move around a little bit once we're out there. We're going to try to stay on East Coast time, keep it the same, and try to keep it as much like East Coast time as possible.
Well, that's interesting. So if this, boy, that's like a 4:30 a.m. local wake up. That's like, wait, if you go 7:30, that's middle of the morning, pitch black, to try to be able to do it. That's an interesting thing. So I can tell you from an NFL perspective, the Browns have done this since Stefanski's been there. They will fly West Coast 2 days in advance. So rather than leaving on Saturday, even for example, that even when they go to Denver, that when they went to Las Vegas, they went out on Friday as well to get acclimated to it. I understand at Denver because you have the elevation change, but they'll go 2 days out. We have that record of 1-8 on teams going in the Big Ten with multiple time zones. The one win being Indiana's at UCLA. So the Buckeyes leaving Friday as opposed to today, which is what I assumed that they would. I thought they'd leave this afternoon, this evening, and then kind of wake up there and have a walkthrough out there, but never know. They've obviously put a lot of thought into it. I think trying to stay on East Coast time on a one-dayer is going to be pretty tough when you think about waking up into pitch black, boys. When you went west, Reese, how did you handle it? I I usually try to stay. The first day I just stay up late and then I just get on their time.
Yeah, I did exactly that. Flew out early, really early in the morning, so you kind of, you get there and it's still the morning, so you're able to not lose a ton of time. But your body never really gets acclimated until the second day.
Yeah.
So at least that was my, in most recent experience. Like you feel it more on the comeback than you do going out there for it. But yeah, it must be.
Isn't that surprising?
I was interested. It was interesting when I heard that because I thought as soon as the Ryan Day show ended, he'd be on a jet out.
Yeah.
But
yeah, me too.
Not the case.
No. So they'll fly tomorrow. Ryan Day was asked about the practices this week, what they've been like, the tone of them. My hunch is they've been amped up. Here's Coach Day on that.
It's about us. We always say that. So even when we're playing an excellent opponent like we're playing, it's still about us. We want to know our opponent as well, but it's about the standard we set. And we've had good 2 good days right here, and guys have been edgy, which is what you want. And coaches have been edgy, and this game means a lot to all of us. So we want to, everybody wants to be right. So you're going to have everybody's best, and we're going to be competitive, and we're going to grind and practice, and that's the way it should be. Nothing about practice should be casual at all. So there's been a lot of purpose and good competitiveness and guys pushing each other, which is what you want.
It's the first time since Ryan Day has been the coach at Ohio State that he will go into one of these type of games, a monster game, 2 top 5 teams, all of the stakes that are out there, and not have the burden of calling plays. That, of course, will fall to former Oregon coach Chip Kelly, who has been waiting for this opportunity to head back out there to Eugene with like talent. Obviously has very, very fond memories of his time in Eugene. For Day, though, it's about trust, and that's kind of been the word of the offseason is trusting Chip, and he will have a lot of it, obviously, on Saturday night.
I think that's probably the biggest word is trust. And when you have trust, you get through a lot of wasted time because you can be direct with somebody and know that you care about them, and no matter what is said, you can kind of put your arm around each other afterwards. I say that a lot because that's it. I think the other thing is having familiarity of just how each other think. You can get through a lot of conversation, revisiting some things you've done in the past, things that have worked, things that haven't worked, things that you've tried together before. Philosophically, all those things I think allow us to work efficiently.
And the odd part here is when Chip was at Oregon, he tried to get Ryan to join him out there. Here is Coach Day on that.
We definitely had conversations back then. It wasn't a great time for me, but yeah, I just had RJ, and it was early in my career. I didn't want to move across the country, but yeah, we had discussions along the way.
Fascinating stuff in the sliding doors of all of that. The number 2 versus number 3 game is NBC's first top 3 matchup since the 1993 FSU Notre Dame game of the century, which is also the first time that College Game Day went on the road. Was 1993 for that Florida State Notre Dame game. FSU was undefeated. That was Charlie Ward's Heisman year. He had a throw into the end zone late in that game that, if memory serves, either would have tied it or won it. It fell incomplete, and they lost. And then the next week, I want to say, Notre Dame lost to Boston College.
Correct. I know that because I have a lot of family.
You weren't even alive.
No, but being raised in a Notre Dame family, I know that I have a lot of family members who made it a point to go to that game so they could see what a national championship team looked like, and then they blew their season the next week.
They did, and then I want to say they beat. So Florida State ended up winning the national championship. They beat Nebraska when a field goal kick by Nebraska sailed wide left, if memory serves. And I'm pretty sure Notre Dame played in the Cotton Bowl against Texas A&M. And Lou Holtz was trying to make the case that they deserve to be at least a share of the national championship, but it went all to Florida State. I want to say Nebraska was undefeated in that. I want to say it was the Orange Bowl where Florida State got him and won Bobby Bowden his first national title. So the first 2 versus 3 on NBC since then. Oregon unveiling yesterday that they will be in a blackout situation. So black hats, black jerseys, black pants. I tweeted this last night. These aren't scores. It just seems like it would make a lot of sense for us to be in all whites. And we have that look. I feel like it would be a stunning juxtaposition versus their all black. That would be pretty badass if they could do that.
Ohio State posted everybody does game posters now.
Yeah.
And so their poster has an Ohio State player in a white top, but the pants, there's shadow over. So it doesn't necessarily show it. So
Who posted this?
Ohio State Football at Ohio State FB on the social media platform formerly known as X. And so if you're putting the red yarn on the corkboard like Pepe Silva, You see what I'm talking about? I'll post it at 971 BFS.
Oh.
But it's out there like, what could we be doing?
I love the white over white. I think it's
really
so
good contrast under the lights.
It would be.
I know we'll talk later in the show, hear from some Ohio State players about experiences in Eugene, excitement to play in a nationally televised under the lights game like this with this kind of magnitude and stakes.
From a recruiting standpoint, this is it for Oregon. Like, all their dudes are coming in. The 5-star corners coming in, the receivers coming in. Like, these are guys the Buckeyes are in on. Like, you got a chance. You got a chance to do it. I wish Oregon was in their traditional green and yellow look. They did this in the national championship, though. When they played Ohio State for the national title, they were in the Stormtrooper look, and they did not even have, if memory serves, I don't think they had a single bit of green on the entire uniform. I think they were white and silver.
Might have been some yellow
in that game.
Maybe a little yellow on those uniforms, but I think it's Decorian Moore, who was a 5-star wideout from Texas that committed to the Buckeyes. And when we had Tyvis on yesterday, he was talking about what Oregon wanted to show him with what they could do with their receiving core. I just kept thinking to myself, Ryan Day from the spring game going, watch this.
Yeah, wait till you get a load of us.
We see what we've got at wide receiver.
Yeah, no, there isn't. In the national title game, they did not have a single stitch of green.
Was it just white and silver?
White and silver,
okay.
Yeah. Looks like the numbers could have been almost like a blackish, a dark gray. Maybe it's a dark green. I don't know. But either way, it's going to be gorgeous. 4:30 local kick. That wins about as big as can win as well. So you're inching closer to a game that we've been waiting on for a very, very long time. Browns fans, meantime, continue to wait for Deshaun Watson to be benched. That wait is going to last a little bit longer. When could the string be pulled on that? We will get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Unlike your deadbeat uncle, we'll never leave you stranded in a ditch when you were 6. This promo may have been a touch too specific. The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. It seems like everything we hear these days is about political races, and yet there's a far more important race that you run for yourself every day. It's the race to be the best that you can be. But if your libido is low, if your workouts aren't productive, if you've got brain fog and you're tired all the time, you may feel like you're losing that race, and maybe even that your best days are behind you. But the truth is that they're likely not, because if you're feeling like this, it's probable you're simply suffering from low testosterone, a condition that affects a huge percentage of men as we age. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're experts in treating low T. We've successfully treated thousands of men for the condition, and if you're like most guys, you'll start seeing results in just a few weeks. Better sleep patterns, higher energy, improved mental clarity, more productive workouts, and your libido will likely increase as well. So get back to winning your race by calling us. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Breaking news. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to The Fan. Very good. Now set the second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to The Fan's HD3 and save The Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. In my 12 years of practice as a reproductive urologist, I've helped many guys with ED, and it has never been more convenient to treat than it is right now, thanks to HIMSS. It really wasn't easy before. You had to take time out of your day, come to a physical office, and see a specialist like me in person. Now, through HIMSS.com, you can get world-class sexual health care and a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. It starts with a free assessment from a medical provider licensed in your state who can determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. So don't wait. Join the hundreds of thousands of guys who've gotten help for their ED through HIMSS.
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Taking the art of sports radio and day drinking to a whole new level. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
And we invite you to join us for an unforgettable evening. It is Tuesday, November 12th, High Bank Distillery in Grandview. Thrilled to invite you to the release of our exclusive fan barrel picks. I was in on these 3 very different varieties. I think there's going to be something for everybody here. Proceeds benefit Brady Quinn's Third and Goal Foundation, making a difference in the lives of veterans. Enjoy exclusive barrel picks, delicious food pairings, live music, meet and greet with select athletes. For tickets and more information, head to 971thefan.com. Must be 21 or older. Please drink responsibly. Did you guys see the images of, I think it's still called Tropicana Field down in St. Pete, of the roof coming off from Milton last night? The roof is off the place.
Roof is gone.
It's gone.
Which I think fans have asked for, or retractable at least, but not in that way.
I think, yeah, they'd like probably the whole thing. I mean, what shocked me is when I saw the images of them, they had like cots set up in that place. And as soon as I saw the cots, I looked up and I knew what the ceiling was, the roof of that place. And you think, well, that I don't know if that's going to hold up to 100-mile-an-hour wind, and it did not. It seems like the damage isn't quite as catastrophic as what they were forecasting for, and yet it is still catastrophic. Millions without power. It's a mess. It's a mess, and it's the second one in a month for that area. So I know there's a lot of Buckeyes down there. A lot of folks go down there and winter down there as you get older in that area. It's loaded with Buckeyes, and even those who aren't. Just an incredible spot. If you can give, please do. The Red Cross, whatever you can do to help. Obviously, just an absolutely horrific spot down there in Florida as it went across the entire peninsula and then made landfall in the Daytona area. So that's where that stands down there. The Cleveland Browns, one of the things that you hear from Browns fans a lot is, well, what are they going to do with Watson? How long are they going to keep this up? I think the answer to that is a little while longer. They are at Philly this week, and then it's a couple of home games. You'll have the Bengals and the Ravens. Eventually they get to the bye, and then potentially that would be a spot where I could see them making a change if it continues down this trajectory. There's a lot wrong with this team, but obviously quarterback is chief among them. Kevin Stefanski was available. He was asked if what he sees from Watson in the pocket meshes with what he wants to see. Here's what Stefanski's answer was to that.
I think there's definitely moments that the pocket's clean and we can deliver from the pocket, and Deshaun has done that and knows that. There's other times that we have to shore it up, and when it comes to pass protection, I think I've told you guys this before, it's not just the offensive line. It can certainly be your running backs and your tight ends. It can be you're playing on time in the pass game, so your receivers getting open, those type of things. So it's an area that we have to get better, no doubt. And I think Deshaun understands that as well. And I think he's committed to getting better as well.
So Stefanski, since he's been there, has made it kind of like his mission when it comes to the media is to really say nothing. I mean, he really doesn't want to make waves. He doesn't want headlines. Doesn't want anything. That's all fine and dandy when you're winning. I think it's tough when you're losing like this, and it's tough when your quarterback's playing the way that this quarterback is playing. Obviously, Watson has not played up to what he was as a Houston Texan since he's been in Cleveland. There's been very little signs of it. He's yet to throw for 300 yards in a Cleveland Browns uniform. He was available yesterday, and he was asked where or if he is playing up to his standard. Here is what Watson had to say on that.
Overall, just leading this whole offense. I think everything just got to, mesh in place at the right time, and things got to be in the same pace. I feel like there's been opportunities for us to be able to, play winning football and hit the open guy. Maybe there was one or two things that were kind of off track that didn't, capitalize, and we didn't capitalize on that. And then there's been some times where, as a quarterback and misreading some things or, second guessing some things. But at the same time, I think that's, part of just getting the reps and part of watching film and trying to find ways to get better each and every week, and each week is a new opportunity for us and for myself to be able to try to find out those things that I need to get better at to try to simplify the game as much as possible.
All right.
Well,
they're at Philly this week, who's coming off a bye. What are they, 8.5-point dogs?
That's what I saw.
Something like that.
Yesterday.
8.5. I didn't look at it today. So they're at Philly. Philly's coming off a bye. Philly they got both Devonta Smith's back, A.J. Brown's back. So Philly's healthy. Looks like Lane Johnson's back for them as well. Go ahead, Reese.
9 is right now
9?
what Philly's favored by.
That's what I think it ought to be. That seems more than fair. So they're at Philly. If that goes the way it went last week in Washington, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I don't know if they can trot him out there the following week at home against Cincinnati. I don't know if he can handle the boos that he will hear. I don't know that he won't self-combust. And by the way, after that, they are home to Baltimore, and then they're home to the Chargers. So once they're done with Philly, it's 3 straight at home before they get to a bye week. So if there is chatter up there about if this continues to go bad and we got to make a decision, we make the decision at the bye week. That is something that I don't know if you can get to, because you're talking 3 straight at home. You will be an underdog in all 3 of those games based on what we've seen to this point. Reese, you've been up there for games. You know that place can turn ugly and bitter quickly. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to. This is not a recipe for success for him over the next 4 games.
No, I know he can't handle the boos. And he's going to hear it this weekend in Philadelphia also.
Yes.
I don't know if he plays well enough that if he has an okay game, say he's 75% completion percentage, he has
kill for that.
like 1 touchdown, 1 interception, but he's sacked 5 times, and the Browns lose 14-10. If that coaching staff or if the front office doesn't say to themselves, all right, if we can maybe, because I don't think Stefanski, in classic Stefanski fashion, was committal about Nick Chubb, but if they can ramp him up a little bit this weekend, or if they don't play him and then he can get a debut next weekend, that's where the fans' attention can turn to.
It's a good strategy out of you, and Nick is not playing this week. There's no scenario where Nick Chubb plays this week.
Which is good, I think.
Yeah, it's very good. So, and I don't even know if he'll play the following week in Cincinnati. He has to be active. He does not have to play. Otherwise, his season has to be shut down if he's not at least active in the Cincinnati game the following week. So that is something to watch. You're right on. If you brought Chubb back and you introduced him last, you're going to get...
You can cover that a little bit.
You can cover up the booze. Maybe introduce Watson like in the middle where nobody's paying attention.
You don't introduce him.
Just have him just be there.
And the rest of the Browns.
Have him tried out next to somebody who just got announced. And
maybe he can wear one of those big coats.
Like Joel Batonio. Like have him run out next to Joel so that he can hide a
but
little
only
bit.
announce Joel Batonio's name so he runs out to a bunch of cheers.
Here's the other thing here, guys. If they bench him this season, if he doesn't play well and they bench him this season, I see no scenario how this gets repaired. So then you've got a whole nother mess that you're going to have to sort out. And that's the reality of it. All right, your emails, including a very interesting Browns trade I was proposed as, of course, the general manager of the Browns. So we'll address that. We'll hit your emails. Paul Finebaum coming up at 10:33. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We are your radio home for the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. We may have a bit of a football problem. Oh, yeah? The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye. Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Right now, save up to $250 on Cooper tires, and Shocks and Struts are buy 3, get 1 free.
I'll be honest, I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family. He should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
It's football season, and Vivid Seats is your ultimate destination for all the action on the gridiron. With a game-changing rewards program, plus an amazing selection of tickets, Vivid Seats ensures that every fan can catch their favorite teams and players in action. Vivid Seats has you covered with deals that cater to every football enthusiast. And all tickets come back by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
This is the story of the one. As a warehouse manager, her job is to transform chaos into clarity and to see patterns where others see problems. Luckily, she's got a partner who shares her perspective. Grainger offers over 1 million industrial-grade products, backed by real person support and in-depth online resources, so she can tackle every task with precision and turn potential setbacks into streamlined success. Call clickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Dean Evison era in Columbus begins tonight as the Blue Jackets open the regular season at the Minnesota Wild. Face-off from St. Paul is 8 p.m. We'll have pregame coverage on the Fan at 7:30. Jackets are at Colorado Saturday before coming back home next Tuesday to host the Florida Panthers. In college football, number 2 Ohio State's a 3-point road favorite Saturday night at Oregon. Kickoff there is 7:30. Hear more from Ohio State's head coach at noon today on the Ryan Day Show. In the NFL, Week 6 begins tonight in Seattle. The Seahawks host the 49ers at 8:15. Sunday at 1, the Browns are at the Eagles. Sunday night, the Bengals are at the Giants. And in baseball, the Tigers host the Guardians tonight at 6 in Game 4 of the ALDS. It's a must-win for Cleveland, who forces Game 5 with a win tonight. This update sponsored by Valley Ford of Columbus. From F-150 to F-750, Valley Ford of Columbus is Central Ohio's commercial truck headquarters. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
They'll offer betting advice, but don't bet on it being good. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Just seeing this pop on the timeline. Cam Newton going to First Take. Signed on. I have not seen him. I guess I haven't seen him on any of those debate shows. The only thing I've noticed from him recently is the hat selection, which is extensive. Big kind of like cowboy hat fedora guy. But I haven't seen him on any of those shows before. But obviously they must like what he brings to the table. I feel like the only thing I've seen from Cam recently is when he's like arguing with the kids with flag football.
He's big in the podcast space.
Okay.
He's got a podcast that's pretty popular.
Okay. All right. So there you go. So that's a little bit of a change to First Take coming as he will join the rotation of hosts there. The best one is when they bring Mad Dog on and then he gets to run amok. That's my favorite one. I love the fact that he's had this little bit of career renaissance at the end where he gets to go on there and argue and do all of the things he's always wanted to do and make $30,000 an episode or whatever.
It's a pretty good gig if you can get it. Yeah. There's only really one Mad Dog.
No.
And I don't know if it'll be very entertaining, but I will tune in if they have Newton and Mad Dog on the same show, because I don't know if Cam Newton be able to understand Mad Dog or understand just what is this person saying.
Don't need a translator between those two.
Vice versa.
Be amazing. All right, time to hit your emails on a Thursday. Hit it, guys.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
A lot of great ones this week. Let's start with this one from Alex. The subject is 3 things for the Oregon game, so he obviously gets the show. Uncle Bo and friends sharing these 3 things for the Oregon game. First, Autzon's reputation is louder than its reality. Back in 2012, I traveled to Autzen with high hopes, a night game in November, pitting number 13 Stanford against number 2 Oregon. Major BCS implications on the line. Stanford won on a field goal in overtime, yet I never felt the impact of the crowd. In fact, I was genuinely surprised at how muted the stadium felt throughout the game. For this weekend, I anticipate a fairly large Buckeye contingent in Eugene, and a strong start from the Silver Bullets could knock the crowd out quickly. Second, neither team should drop in the AP poll after Saturday, regardless of outcome. If Alabama, Tennessee, and Ole Miss all get to stay in the top 10 after losing to absolute bottom feeders, then neither team here should be punished for losing in a top 3 matchup. Unfortunately, I won't be surprised if the AP voters choose otherwise. Finally, I am just glad we continue to have this is a good last line. Finally, I'm just glad we continue to have the only $800 million roster in football. Go Bucks, Alex. Alex, thank you for getting the show. Very good job out of you. I will be curious to see what happens with the polls, because the pollsters have been very conservative with teams losing. We saw that last weekend where you had a bunch of them in the top 5 lose, and they really didn't fall that far. So what happens here if there is a loss? If it's close, I think he's probably right. I don't think you're going to see a huge drop for either one of these teams if this is a competitive game on a Saturday night. If Ohio State routes, and I see no scenario where Oregon routes, I do see a scenario where Ohio State could route. If Ohio State wins by a couple of scores, I could see the Ducks falling behind Georgia and Bama and Tennessee and dropping to 8 or 9, but I don't think any further than that. And I don't know if that's right. I don't. Alabama lost at Vanderbilt. Ole Miss lost at home to Kentucky. Arkansas beat Tennessee at their place. These games have to matter a little bit, but that is something worth monitoring, is just how the AP poll handles that. Furthermore, I've heard that before about Autzen. I have not been there. I've heard that it can be kind of overwhelmed relatively quickly. So we'll see. A fast start would do it. I do imagine you'll see a lot of Buckeyes out there.
They'll travel. And I also think that with Oregon, they'll come out swinging. That's a team that's da bomb, right? Yeah. Feels like you start fast on Ohio State and hope the Buckeyes don't have jet lag and kind of wake up in the third quarter. It wouldn't bode well for their success. I think that if a team wins by 10 or more points Saturday, I think, and I guess depending on what happens with the Red River rivalry, they they take maybe half of those first place votes because you're seeing it 7:30 on NBC. Yeah. But with Georgia being off, and I don't think Texas is going to lose, so I see Georgia bumping up a little bit before that matchup. Is it next week? Georgia, Texas?
Yeah, Texas, Georgia's next week.
To make that thing more pomp and circumstance.
Can you imagine being Texas? You got Red River, and then you follow that up with Georgia? Jeez.
Can anybody name the legendary Browns quarterback who was starting for Stanford in that Stanford-Oregon game that the email that referenced?
Would that have been
at QB?
Oh my God, I had it. And then
I cannot.
Kevin Hogan.
There you go.
Didn't he play lacrosse too?
Sure.
Yeah.
This is Greg from Botkins, loyal writer. Woody Hayes told us Oregon was coming. He writes, in October of 68, my father, Eric, went to his first of many great Buckeye games in the legendary Horseshoe. I've been reminded my entire life that the 1968 Buckeyes had one of the most amazing class of sophomore football players, Stillwagon, Kern, Tatum. Woody Hayes told everyone in Columbus about Oregon. He said, quote, Oregon is a good team, and someday they're going to get on someone, and we're going to make sure that it's not us. My father was 14 years old that October day when the Scarlet and Gray beat the Ducks 21-7. My question for you gentlemen is, would the Buckeye fan base be happy with a 21-7 score? Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't need to win by like 40 in this game.
No style points needed. Win.
No, they're third.
Win by a last-second field goal.
Yeah, and I think that would tell you a great deal about your defense if it's 21-7. So yeah, no, I think absolutely they would be thrilled with it. This one from Brad. The subject is Thursday email. He writes, I get why the Browns moved on from Baker. I do. He was so up and down and was never going to win it all. I get why the Browns went after Watson, as did half the NFL. They thought he could win it all for us. However, after a few seasons, Watson's has only gotten worse, and now is evident he's lost the locker room. The defense looks like a bunch of guys that realize their offense can't and won't score. Watson's linemen and receivers give it the old half try. Watson himself is lost, missing receivers open, not recognizing man with blitz. 5 straight weeks, he's right on it. It is laughable, and at this point, how bad they are because of him. So here's a list of quarterbacks the Browns should get next. Rockin' Robbie Carpenter. Bob, we haven't heard that in a while. That was Threes and I's. That was the wrestling name we had for Bob back in the day, was Rockin' Robbie. Uncle Rico from Napoleon Dynamite, my high school quarterback who peaked and wants to check tape from his glory days. Brucey from The Longest Yard, and Kenny Powers. Love the show and thank the Lord for fantasy football. He's right, of course, on the Watson stuff. And I do think that the point he makes about it bleeding over to the defense and everything else is legitimate. This one from John. Trade proposal. Mr. Bishop, as general manager of the Browns, can I interest you in Denzel Ward for T. Higgins and Jake Browning? Sincerely, John. Well, provided Andrew Berry is still the general manager, I do not believe he would do that deal because you got to pay T. Higgins. So they can't pay T. Higgins. And by the way, if you trade your best secondary player, you weaken a position that previously was a position of strength. You still have to deal with the quarterback problem with Watson. I think bigger picture, could I see the Browns making trades if the next 4 games goes poorly? Yes. I could see them trading Amari Cooper, for example. I think almost everyone is up to be traded at that point. And then the question would be from ownership is, do you trust Andrew Berry to draft whatever you net in return? That would be the thing, because what this will try to be, if this goes really bad, is a rebuild on the fly. That's what they're going to try to do. Now, in terms of guys who could play quarterback, Sam Darnold could come in and be your quarterback next year. Similar offense he's running in Minnesota. He's a free agent. They're going to go to J.J. McCarthy. There would be something there, but I don't know what that would look like, and quite honestly, that's something I can't even wrap my head around right now, but although it seems like it's going to be a reality.
They'll be sellers at the deadline.
Yeah.
Just get Flacco back.
He's playing too well in Indy, buddy.
Yeah, they're not. I was thinking before last week's game that the Dolphins should contact the Colts, but there's no way Indy would move off him right now. But for like 5 first-rounders.
No, and I also think like that's more of a get it out of. That's a little different than but yes, there's a lot of. I'm surprised Miami didn't do more. I'm surprised they didn't bring in Tannehill. Honestly, like he's out there, and all he needed was assurances that he would start. This one from Mike. The subject is OSU college football for dummies. He writes, "Hey, gang, I finally studied the 12-team college football playoff. Here's how it looks to me. If Ohio State is ranked 1 through 4, their first game is a bowl game on December 31st or January 1st. Yes, that would be true. I would also add, parenthetically, they would have to win the Big Ten. So if they win the Big Ten, they'll be there because that's a part of it. If OSU is ranked 5 to 8, their first game would be Ohio State hosting a college football playoff game on December 20th or 21st. Also true. If Ohio State is ranked 9 to 12, the first game they travel as visitors to another host on December 20th or 21st. I think that's all we need to know. Yes, from the Buckeye perspective, all of that is true, and that is all you need to know. This one from Brian. This was, I'm guessing, inspired by the fact that Commando was on last week, and Reese and I were talking about it, as we love Commando. He writes, Arnold is the subject, is Arnold. To who has not seen an Arnold movie, True Lies is a must. Arnold, Jamie Lee Curtis, Tom Arnold, Bill Paxton, Tia Carrera, Elijah Dushku, all directed by James Cameron, an action movie masterpiece. It's great.
I think he was talking to me. True Lies. Mental note.
Have you heard of that movie?
Probably.
Okay.
Here's how I come down on Arnold versus Sylvester Stallone. Arnold's were more fun. Sly's stuff was heavy, man. The Rambo movies were heavy. I loved them. I love First Blood. It's a top 5 movie all time. I've seen it a billion times. I love Rambo 2. It's great. The third one's a little wonky when we're in Afghanistan and we're on horseback and we're playing some game with a dead goat. But Sly's stuff was just a little bit more serious. Like Cobra was ultra serious. You know, like it was kind of a borderline horror movie.
A dark film.
It really was. Like a lot of the Arnold stuff had fun in it. You know, it was kind of tongue-in-cheek. And True Lies is awesome. It's absolutely awesome. This one from Rob. He writes the subject, Phil Parker. Interesting, and of course from Iowa, of course. Interesting that prior to all Big Ten career at Michigan State, Phil Parker was an all-star player at Amherst High School here in Ohio, west of Cleveland. I'm a delivery driver. Your show helps me get through the day. Good job on you, Rob. Very good job out of you.
Every coach has a connection to Ohio somehow.
They all do, man. Cradle of coaches. This from John. The subject is bicycling. Reese, I think this one is directed at you. Yesterday, so this was last week, you're talking about Eric's bike ride and why didn't he ride on the sidewalk. Years ago, my brother and I received a ticket for riding on the sidewalks in Columbus. So to my understanding, it is illegal to ride your bicycle in Central Ohio. Good show. Keep up the work.
I didn't know that.
Ticketed? I didn't know that either.
I mean, I just choose not to because I feel that it's not courteous to people who are walking.
If there aren't people walking, though, and it's a relatively busy street like Northwest can be, still,
because I never know if again I'm on a bike that moves quickly and someone comes out onto the sidewalk and I've got to maneuver that. The thing with Northwest is there's 2 lanes, but the lane closest to the curb always has cars parked. So I just glide down that, not having any cars behind me. So it's easier that way. I mean, more so at intersections and stuff, that people just get a little impatient and a little aggressive towards bikers. But I also understand because there are a lot more times where cyclists don't follow directions at 4-way stops or at intersections.
I think if we were to do it all over again, there would be a sidewalk and there would be a bike lane that also had like a curb.
Yep.
So that cars couldn't go into it. That would be, to me, the safest way to go about it. Is Oregon the best road trip a Buckeye fan can make? One emailer says, yeah, could be. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Ben Sadler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CRV, HRV, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with the trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Hey, Jerry, I think I invented something.
Does it solve a problem?
It solves a big problem.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Heating and cooling companies are telling people your furnace and AC isn't worth fixing. You need to replace it with a whole new system.
You invented a solution for that?
I invented a way to fix those systems for free.
Get Eco.
ECO.
That's a great invention. How does it work?
Step 1 is to pay Eco to fix it.
I thought you said you'd fix it for free.
Step 2 is that we give you back all the money that you paid us, up to $1,500 when you get Eco to replace it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
What if your repair keeps my system running for several more years?
That would mean you got all those extra years for free.
Paying Eco to fix your furnace is like putting money in the bank.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco plumbers, electricians, and HVAC technicians.
Get Eco.com.
Friday night in the Buckeye State means only one thing. High school football, baby. Join Ryan Baker and Coach Lee Cochran for Byers Dublin Subaru High School Overtime.
Friday night at 9:30.
Your home of all things football. The Fan.
People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and the multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I could not imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Low energy, brain fog, or bloating? Your body might need a detox. Active Liver from New Nordic makes it easy to help your liver detox your body all year long without major changes to your diet or lifestyle.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Getting closer to the weekend, here's a look here at your weather report. We've got your sunshine today. Temperatures will be cooler than yesterday with highs only around 65. Chilly tonight with a low around 40. A few more clouds tomorrow. Otherwise, mostly sunny with a high of 73. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Sports conversation that's worthy of a toast, or at least a stiff drink. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss, fast, sustainable weight loss without the medications. Solution for weight loss, Awaken 180 Weight Loss. This is a trip out west to Eugene that Buckeye fans have been waiting for a long time. I know a lot of people, Beam included, were going to go out there in the COVID year and play Band and Dunes and play the golf and do all of that. You can do like Reese did this summer, and you go do the wine and all of that. I got an incredible email from Alex, very detailed. The subject, officially endorsed Oregon tour. He sent this summer. I went over some of this a little bit, maybe a couple of months ago. He graduated from Ohio State. Most of his family is in Oregon, went to law school in Portland. Wonderful state. Couldn't speak more highly about making a trip out there. So he has an itinerary that is really like an 8-day itinerary with the game falling on day 7. So this is like a week in Oregon, flying into Portland, picking up a rental, heading to Hood River. He gives great detail in terms of how to get there. Day 2, Hood River to Bend, and all of the things that happen there. And he's got a couple of days at Bend, Oregon, including Play 36 at Pronghorn Club, one of the best public courses in the country, designed by Jack Nicklaus, nestled in the high desert of eastern Oregon, surrounded by juniper trees and cascade. I mean, that's gorgeous. Also has one of the more breathtaking par 3s you'll find, the green perched atop a gaping rock archway. Man, hit the Bend Ale Trail for post-round dinner and drinks, personal favorites. Deschutes Brewery, I remember that one very well from my time out west in 10 Barrel. There are plenty of options with upward of 30 breweries on the trail. And then Bend to Bandon Dunes. That one speaks for itself. Play 36. This is good on day 5. He writes, 36 holes at Bandon Dunes, no description required. No, it's probably not. And then Bandon Dunes to Eugene, about 2.5 hours. Take the scenic drive up historic Route 101. Settle in for game day in Eugene. Stop in any local establishment for drinks and an aperitif of Utah at Arizona State or Memphis at South Florida. So he's really got it completely locked up with that Friday night, which will be tomorrow night. And then on the way out on day 8, he's got Eugene to Manzanita? Or Cannon Beach, properly 3 hours away from there, and kind of goes through all of it. It's an incredible email, Alex. He actually hyperlinked it. I've gone over some of that stuff earlier in the summer, but it did get me thinking, and I thank you so much for the details on this. Quite honestly, I would do this itinerary tomorrow. I mean, I think it sounds like an awesome time. It got me thinking, though. With this new expanded Big Ten, is Eugene the best road trip you can make routinely as a Buckeye fan? Now, I don't know if you're going to get to play, once we get through this first set of schedules, is Oregon going to be a trip that you make relatively consistently? I don't know. But I think that it might be the answer to that question. It might be the best road trip you can make as a Buckeye fan, especially if the game is played when this one is in early October or late September, where it's going to be gorgeous out there and you're going to have an ability to recreate in a way you wouldn't have anywhere else in the Big Ten. It's funny. I think a lot of people say, well, what about Los Angeles? I think the biggest, and I love LA, but I think the biggest difference between this road trip and an LA one, whether it be UCLA, which is obviously magical in the Rose Bowl, or USC with the Coliseum, is when you fly to Los Angeles for a sporting event, you are in Los Angeles and a sporting event is happening. When you go to Eugene, you're going to watch a college football game. That's the difference. Eugene is a college town. Eugene is the type of place where you are going to feel it the Friday night into the Saturday and all day Saturday. The big game on campus, you're going to feel that in Eugene. You're not going to feel that in Los Angeles. You're not. They're not paying attention. That's not going to have that buzz to it. So I think when you consider whether you like brews or wine, golf, outdoors, scenic, relatively easy. I mean, it's a long ways, but you're flying into Portland. It's a major airport, and very, very doable. Oregon might be my number one. My top 3 as it stands right now of Big Ten road trips for Buckeye fans. 1 would be Oregon. I think 2 is still Wisconsin. Madison's an awesome town, and you can do kind of the golf thing too with Whistling Straits and Erin Hills and all of that if you're into the guys' weekend thing and want to do that. Lots of stuff for families as well. I think number 3 for me right now, I'm going to go Seattle is my third one of Big Ten road trips. Because it would have, if you can avoid the rain, if you can get a decent weekend, that stadium is amazing. Seattle's a great town. You could play the golf. You got Puget Sound. You got all the stuff that comes with Seattle. I think those are my top 3 as we stand right here, Reese.
Yeah, with Seattle, I'd agree with you about Oregon being number 1, and it'll be especially truer, I think, the more we get into Big Ten with the 4 teams that have been added on, because you only go to Eugene once every decade or once every 3-4 years, maybe not a decade, but once every 3 or 4 years. So it'll be a special trip that you won't get to make too often. And with flying into Portland and getting to experience, because if you're not an outdoors person, maybe less so, but still, I think there's so much to do from Portland to Bend. There's wine country. There's Salem's pretty nice, but you can go to the coast and make all of that in a 3-day trip. With Seattle as well, you can do all of that. Plus, I think if you stay Sunday, you can probably catch a Seahawks game. Mm-hmm. I'm out on places like Los Angeles or Chicago for trips. I'd just rather have other things to do around me. And so I don't think once you get into Los Angeles, it's just a pain in the ass to get anywhere.
Yeah. Again, I just think that's different. Like LA's lovely. South of LA, the South Bay area, Manhattan Beach, all of that, Orange County, all of that is great. But that's not a college football environment. You're going there for the beach in LA, and then a football game is happening. That's what I'm saying. Like, I think you go to Eugene, and we'll go back out there in 2027, so we got to wait a little while. But there is at least some consistency when it comes to the two. I think at the very least you're getting that big game on campus feel in Eugene. I don't know if it's going to. I think Seattle, it would depend on how good Washington is. The first time Ohio State goes out there, it's going to be a big deal. But I think consistently it will depend on a little bit on how good the local team is.
Dennis chimes in at the YouTube chat. He's out here. Portland Buckeyes are having a big party Friday night at the Beer Stein in Eugene.
Perfect.
So if you're listening now and you are going out west, or you already are out west and you're seeing us either on YouTube or you're catching the podcast, Friday night, Beer Stein in Eugene for the Buckeyes pre-party against Oregon.
So next year we are at Washington, right? Do I have that right? 2025 Ohio State at
so. Washington.
Yeah, I think so too. So you're going to see these two Pacific West Coast trips back to back. I love Oregon. I think Portland's awesome. It's Reese, you were just there on vacation this summer.
That's why I speak so highly of it. Yeah,
it's a spectacular state.
Because in 45 minutes you can get cityscape, rolling hills, mountains, forest, ocean.
Yeah, I think it and California are the only two that give you that, where you can check all of those boxes, those places where you could now Oregon probably doesn't have that, but California does in terms of where you could ski and play golf in the same day. There's not that many places you could do that, but they do. I think it's going to be one of those ones that consistently Ohio State fans are going to go to in droves. I'm very curious to see what it looks like on Saturday night.
Your 5 road trips next year are Illinois, Michigan, of course, Purdue, Washington, and Wisconsin. So there's 2 of your top 3.
Yeah, I think Madison's awesome. Madison's great, and I think Seattle will be very cool for Buckeye fans as well to be able to take that one in. Paul Finebaum on the matchup. What does he expect to see Saturday night in Eugene? How does he respond to what happened last week in the Southeastern Conference? That's coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Your morning just got beefier. Morning Juice with Beamer, Bobby, and Shark.
Weekdays from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We hear a lot from our patients after we've successfully treated their erectile dysfunction. But one thing we hear the most is, why didn't I get treated sooner? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if you're suffering with ED and all the emotional and relationship problems it causes, don't wait. Call us today. ED is simply a medical condition like any other. And for most men, it's fully treatable, which means you can get your sex life back. And I'm not talking about sex that's just okay, by the way. I'm talking about good sex with the ability to enjoy intimacy without the anxiety that affects so many men who have ED. In fact, you might find you're performing like you haven't in years. At Tri-State Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated thousands of men with protocols that are successful in well over 90% of cases. And we have a variety of treatments and treatment combinations so you can get the one that's right for you. So stop waiting and call us. Your first visit includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com. Here's a quick listening guide. When something's on the fan, it's on the station you're listening to right now. If I say something's on ESPN Columbus, it's on 1460 AM and the Fan's HD2. When in doubt, stream it on the Fan app. Thank you and good night.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services,
No,
even
but-
for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No, but-
Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Right now, save up to $250 on Cooper tires, and Shocks and Struts are buy 3, get 1 free.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
And he joins on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Great friend of the program, Paul Finebaum, joining us now. I guess for Kalen DeBoer, life comes pretty quick, huh?
Yeah, it's gotten so bad, though, that columnists now in Alabama are making fun of how he dresses. That's a bad sign.
It was the damnedest thing. I mean, Paul, I kind of set it up on our show last week. Like, this was the week before the week. This week you got Ohio State, Oregon, you got Texas, Oklahoma, you got it's Ole Miss and who am I missing? Ole Miss and LSU.
LSU.
Yeah. So like this last week was kind of the weekend before the weekend, and yet you had what happened at Vandy. You had Tennessee losing to Arkansas. You had 5 of the top 11 losing. What sense do you make of what happened last weekend?
Well, I think the transfer portal is playing a big role, especially in the Vanderbilt game. I mean, they had a quarterback from New Mexico State who actually beat Auburn last year in Auburn. And I interviewed the kid yesterday, Diego Pavia, and he just had no fear. He's Johnny Manziel 2.0. He quotes Drake. He just doesn't care that Alabama is supposed to win that game. And yeah, Alabama was coming off of the high, but I think if you go back to Alabama, if you look at the second half of the Georgia game, their defense collapsed, and it never changed. I think that turned out more to be an aberration than the real thing.
What seemed okay? You kind of answered that question a little bit, but I want to drill down on it a little bit. What is the real Alabama which one of those? Closer to what you saw in the Georgia game, or closer to, which would be terrifying for folks down there, what we saw in the Vanderbilt game?
I think it's really more the Vanderbilt game, because the offense is explosive, but it's fairly limited with Ryan Williams, the freshman wide receiver. But the defense just doesn't look very good. And again, it's a weird sample because you're coming off of the emotional high. But I'm pretty downbeat right now, especially next week at Tennessee, LSU, Oklahoma. These are all very, very tricky games for them. Missouri. The problem is you can't really have faith in anyone at this point. Georgia looked terrible beating Auburn, and they won by 18 points.
That's what I was going to get to, because I don't even know if the pollsters know what to do. By the looks of the AP poll, they didn't know what to do with these teams. You had all these teams lose. They all stayed in the top 10. Alabama stayed in the top 10. Tennessee lost at Arkansas, which is a brutal loss for them as well. And yet they stayed in the top 10. So I guess what I'm curious about is, obviously, none of those losses last weekend really crushed those teams in terms of their standing and the way that people view them. But I do think it obviously it eliminates a margin for error here now. And now these are speed bumps that probably none of those teams saw coming, and now they all hit them. And so where is the margin now? I mean, you mentioned Georgia, obviously with a loss. They lucky to escape Kentucky, and then of course Ole Miss losing to Kentucky just a couple of weeks ago. So the margin for error kind of gone for the SEC powerhouses, is it not?
Yeah, and again, way down in the weeds in the SEC, everyone now has maybe one more mulligan, and then it's over. Ole Miss, for example, playing at LSU Saturday night, can't get any more difficult than that. They lose that game, they're done, essentially, because they still have to deal with Georgia later. Can you imagine having to beat Georgia to stay alive in the playoffs?
No.
And it's the same for Tennessee. It's the same for Alabama. What I think has really happened, if you look at it from a distance, is that the SEC hopes of getting 5, I believe, is over. Missouri looks absolutely fraudulent, and it could even go below that. Now, who does it help? It's too complex to figure out. I think Penn State USC is maybe one of the more important games of the weekend from a CFP standpoint, because a win for Penn State really puts them in good shape. So I mean, there's so many horses to keep up with, but that's really where it is right now. It's you can't afford to lose anymore if you have a loss on your resume.
That's kind of where I am with it, because I don't know if anybody in the ACC can take advantage of anything. I don't know if any of those teams are going to be able to survive it. Miami's gotten very fortunate the last couple of times out. Clemson's playing better, but I don't know what to make of them. The Big 12, I think, is just going to cannibalize itself, Paul. I think they're all going to have multiple losses there in the Big 12. So I think that you could kind of be okay on that side of it. You got it down in your neck of the woods, and obviously not that close to you, but you have Red River this weekend for the first time being an SEC game. What do you make of this Texas team and the return to Quinn Ewers?
Yeah, I feel we're actually going to that game this weekend, which is so weird. Taking our show to the OU Texas game. I just don't think this game is close. And I know the rivalry and all that. Everybody does. But Ewers brings such a dimension to that team, and even without him, I'd still like Texas very much. Oklahoma just doesn't have any offense. I mean, they struggled to beat Auburn, which is now a doormat. They look terrible against Tennessee. I mean, they can't score enough to keep up with Texas.
I'm curious what your thoughts are on the big one in our neck of the woods out in Eugene, Big Ten traditional rivalry between Oregon and Ohio State. You said you're going to the Texas State Fair. We're playing a conference game out in Eugene. This is one we've waited a long time for here. We had a very tepid September, including an odd bye. They finally get a big challenge out against the Ducks. What is your early read here on a Thursday between Ohio State and Oregon?
I feel like this is the week where all of a sudden the country wakes up Sunday morning and go, oh, my goodness, I didn't realize Ohio State was that good. You people do, of course. You know the talent, especially the freshmen, just across the board. But I think because Ohio State has literally not been talked about for 6 or 7 weeks, this is going to be the shock of the weekend. I'm underwhelmed by Oregon. Yeah, I respect Dan Lanning, Dylan Gabriel, the whole thing, but I just don't think they can keep up with Ohio State in this game.
Which of these two coaches needs this one worse? I was looking at Lanning's record there, and he took over for Mario, but in terms of like signature wins, there aren't many. It's a couple of wins against Utah. His bowl record, they haven't had some of that. He can't control that, but they don't have a big bowl win out there for them. They lost twice to Washington last year. I'm with you. I think it'd be a very tough task for them to hang with the Buckeyes, but at the same time, like, for all of the pomp and circumstance about Dan Lanning, at some point he's got to win one of these games, doesn't he?
He does, because remember, he was the hot coach in the offseason. Alabama wanted him. Everyone wants him. And I don't think he has anything close to a great win. And he's got his resume is pretty weak, except that that program has not had very much stability, and they're trying desperately to keep him and get some. If you go back to July, I thought Oregon would win this game and maybe lose to Ohio State later on. That's gone out the window primarily because of what I've seen from Oregon. Now, again, Ohio State's a little bit of a mystery, but I don't think very much.
One undefeated team left in the Southeastern Conference, just the Texas Longhorns. I wanted to ask you about their in-state rival, Texas A&M, who now is 3-0 in the league. After they lost to Notre Dame early, I kind of forgot about them a little bit, Paul. They buried Missouri. I don't even know what that means, but they are 3-0 in the league. Do we need to start paying attention to what Mike Elko's doing at A&M?
I do. I think so. I was in A&M last week and talked to Elko, and he's really a bright guy. Cerebral, so much different than the blowhard that previously was there in Jimbo Fisher. I don't think they'll get there. They have Texas at the end of the year. They have a lot of tricky road games. It seems like they'll draw. They surprised Missouri. I don't know why that Missouri didn't realize that Connor Wegman was going to start the game, but Missouri just got exposed. Eli Drinkwitz talks a big game, but he hasn't had too many big wins either. But something tells me that they will not be able to only lose one more game. So they're a great story. I don't think they're going to be a playoff team.
This is a fun weekend. You got a couple of them back to back here. They're going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy the first time at the Texas State Fair for you?
Indeed, and I am going to take some food with me. I don't think I'm going to get caught up in eating the fried everything there.
No fried giant corn dogs for you, my friend. Yeah, it's probably safe. Thanks, Paul.
Enjoyed it. Thank you.
All right, that's Paul Finebaum of the Paul Finebaum Show on ESPN and the SEC Network, joining on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Columbus, the wait is over. Blue Jackets hockey is back. Come feel the boom all season long. Be here Tuesday, October 15th for the home opener, presented by Nationwide. Get your tickets today at bluejackets.com.
Combat falling interest rates now. Lock in a 7-month certificate from Kemba Financial Credit Union and earn up to 4.75% annual percentage yield. Visit Kemba.org for details. Hurry! This exceptional rate offer expires December 31st, 2024. APY equals annual percentage yield. Restrictions apply. $500 minimum deposit required to open and earn stated APY and $250,000 maximum deposit. Advantage status required. Federally insured by NCUA.
Get your game room game day ready with Billiards Plus.
Pool tables, shuffleboard tables, and games the whole family will enjoy.
Now's the time to get your name on a pool table before the holiday rush.
Plus top-of-the-line grills still in stock.
Shop Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. People can't say enough amazing things about Vanscoy Hair Clinics. Men and women struggle with hair loss every day, and they completely change their lives. Vanscoy Hair Clinics is the only company in Ohio that has PRP, platelet-rich plasma, and a multi-unit hair grafting hair transplant procedure. Go to vanscoyhair.com for more info, or call 614-432-8042. Here's what some of their hair transplant clients have said.
Around 26, 27, I lost almost all of my hair on top. It changed my life in ways that I cannot imagine.
My hair is going to continue growing for the rest of my life.
There is hope that you can do something about your hair loss.
Multi-unit hair grafting gives you 3 times more hair per procedure, saving you time and money. Hair transplants are more affordable than ever, and PRP is a fast, easy, and effective 45-minute treatment for thinning or damaged hair. Call Vanscoy for a free consultation, 614-432-8042, or visit vanscoyhair.com. That's 614-432-8042. Find out what procedure will restore your hair.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every single night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I get it. But there are alternatives to the CPAP machine, and Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and stops your snoring. What a concept. It's quick, comfortable, and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and he has a track record to prove it. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. And as the end of the year approaches, a lot of people have exceeded their medical deductibles, which means less out of pocket for you. Don't delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. Or you can visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or sleepbettercolumbus.com.
Engagement ring shopping doesn't have to be stressful. Join us at Diamond Cellar After Hours on October 17th. Sip some champagne, enjoy live music, and snag an exclusive discount on an engagement ring. And don't stress, you got 90 days to make your move. You can save up to $1,000 while enjoying a fun night out while we help you find the perfect ring. Plus, you'll have a chance to win Ohio State football tickets or Blue Jackets tickets in the new Diamond Cellar Club. RSVP at diamondcellar.com/afterhours, and we'll see you October 17th at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road.
You want Jersey Mike's signature sub, you get a number 13 original Italian. You want a dramatic radio idea? You get me. Like this. I'm the 7th-string quarterback, and the other 6 quarterbacks go down. The coach yells, DeVito, you're in. The crowd is worried until I throw a touchdown. But the other team is celebrating. Apparently, I threw the Jersey Mike's number 13 original Italian I was eating on the sidelines. Whoops. The number 13 original Italian, Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Saturday is game day on The Fan.
Sponsored by Riker Ford.
Every game, every season, your home of the Buckeyes. The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday. Hit it, Reese.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
All right, so in case you missed it yesterday, Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers appeared on the Pat McAfee show and denied any doing of the hatchet job done to Robert Saleh by Jets owner Woody Johnson. Said he denies having any involvement with it. Said he liked Saleh as a person. So take that for whatever it's worth from your favorite ayahuasca user. But earlier today, Jeff Ulbrich announced that Nathaniel Hackett will no longer be calling the plays for Gang Green. It's going to go to Todd Downing, who I believe is their passing game coordinator.
Hold on a second. You're telling me that Bob Saleh walks into work on a Tuesday. By the way, a Tuesday's an off day in the NFL. Walks into work on a Tuesday, not fired on a Monday. Walks in on a Tuesday, has a meeting saying he's going to remove play calling duties from Hackett, and it's up to Hackett if he is going to stay or not. And it is then promptly fired. And now 2 days later, the guy who replaced him has taken away play calling duties? What are we doing here?
Ulrich said that Rodgers understands the decision. So, thing or not a thing?
Dysfunctional thing. There are franchises in professional sports that can't get right. It appears that the New York Football Jets are one such organization. I think it's pretty straightforward that Saleh got fired because he was going to remove play calling for Hackett. Now, 2 days later, the new guy gets to. What are we doing? What are we doing?
I agree. This is a thing because it indicates the dysfunction that they're dealing with. Craig Carton said on FS1, and I know how goofy he is, but he is at least plugged into the New York area. He said that there was a phone call between Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers. about this exact topic, about how Nathaniel Hackett was going to be removed from play calling duties. And I don't know if Aaron Rodgers called for his firing, but apparently he did not like that idea. And so him and Rob Saleh clearly did not see eye to eye. And then one thing leads to another. Now he's gone. And then just the interim does it anyway. So I guess, are we supposed to expect that Jeff Ulbricht's going to get fired in 2 days? Is that how this is going to work?
I don't know.
Guess it. Oh, the pound trying to remember who they have this weekend. It's escaping me. Oryx going to remain defensive play caller. He was the defensive coordinator, now the interim head coach.
They play Monday Night Football.
Are they Monday Nighter?
Yeah, they're Monday night against the Bills.
Hackett's still the offensive coordinator, but it's going to be this new guy who will be calling those plays.
This is the most overrated story in sports, the Jets, the past couple of years, since that Eagles dream team that Vince Young declared. And I know part of it's obviously because Aaron Rodgers was hurt all of last year. That's nobody's fault. But this has not panned out the way that big ESPN and FS1 all wanted us to think it was going to be.
The Big Ten released its full basketball TV schedule yesterday. Ohio State men's hoops will play 5 games on CBS, 2 on Fox. TNT is going to have the Buckeyes season opener against Texas. That's November 4th from Las Vegas. The Buckeyes are going to have 5 this upcoming season on Peacock, 9 on Big Ten Network, 6 on FS1. Their November 19th game against Evansville, that will be on Big Ten Network Plus. Thing or not a thing?
It's a huge bad thing for Buckeye basketball. Coach Holtman, a year ago, when it was more than a year ago, when he talked about the reality of not being on ESPN anymore. This is the reality of this is what the money's for. And so you're going to be spread out all over various networks. I mean, this is crazy. 5 games on CBS, 2 on Fox, 5 on Peacock, 6 on FS1. It's going to be one of those things where, like, where do you even find them? You're not used to going to TNT for Buckeye basketball, but that's what you're going to have to get used to here. So, like, finding them every single night is going to be a challenge. You're going to have to pay a premium for Peacock if you're not already. Then if you want to watch the Evansville game, you got Big Ten Plus. Jake Diebler is going to have to fight like hell to overcome this from a just being visible standpoint. Because this is tricky, and this is not what it used to be. Also on this, which we didn't mention, was how many games they have on the weekend?
Not a lot.
Very few.
Yeah, this is definitely a bad thing. I have found just in discussion with people that the network-specific streaming services like Peacock and Paramount Plus, not as popular as like a Netflix or an Amazon or a Hulu that kind of draws shows and movies from all networks. So I question how much of our audience is going to have them. Some will, some won't. So that's obviously an issue. FS1, again, something that you're not exactly mentally thinking about. You might hear that Fox Sports is covering the game, and you go to channel 28 and it's not there, and you're like, well, I guess my buddy was wrong. And then, it was on FS1. So, yeah, this is not exactly beneficial. The 5 games on CBS, those are good, but wish there were more.
Yeah, this from 11 Warriors. 2 games for Ohio State are still TBA as in terms of who's going to be showing them. It looks like the December 14th game, the Holiday Hoops Giving one against Auburn. Again, TBA on who's going to be broadcasting that. And then Texas A&M on November 15th is also TBA. So could be ESPN for those. But yeah, as soon as I saw this come out, I thought, Bo, to your conversation with Ohio State's former head coach, like, this isn't a great thing because these parties here feel interested in live sports, less so in college basketball.
Yeah, and the other thing about it is the experience sucks compared to how you get the rest of your stuff. Like, once you go into that Peacock portal, you're stuck there.
Yep.
And you just have to sit through the commercial. Like, you're paying a premium for the product, and I still got to sit through commercials. It's ridiculous.
On Wednesday, the NFL said it's reviewing an explicit message worn on the eye black of Steelers wide receiver George Pickens during Sunday night's loss to the Cowboys. Pickens' message read, "Open effing always," and was written in silver over his straight line eye black. According to league rules, players are prohibited from, quote, wearing, displaying, or otherwise conveying personal messages, either in writing or illustration, unless such message has been approved in advance by the league office. I doubt this one was. Steelers coach Mike Tomlin was asked about the eye black on Tuesday. Quote, "I don't know what messaging you're talking about regarding his eye black. I didn't have any outlying issue with his effort." Thing or not a thing?
This is who George Pickens is. This is why he fell where he fell in the draft. There were several teams that had a do not draft no matter what on George Pickens because of this stuff. Pittsburgh thought that they could overcome it because of their culture and all of those things, and obviously they listened to nothing that happened with Antonio Brown or that happened with Chase Claypool. He is a tough dude to deal with. They got him on a pitch count. Did you guys see this? Like, he doesn't take all the snaps because they're trying to get him to run hard routes every time, and then they have these videos of him jogging through routes. Kid's a mess. He's an absolute mess, and honestly not worth the pain in the neck that he is consistently.
Open blanking always. 3 catches, 26 yards, one of them being 21 yards. So the eye black itself, not that big of a thing, but to go from Chase Claypool, as talking about myself as a Steelers fan, going from him, who was a complete head case and a fool on the field as a second-round pick, to then basically just replacing him with another second-round receiver in George Pickens, both of whom are insanely talented. And then we had another mid-round pick, Juju, before that. He was TikTok boy, too. So if I would like some receivers that, like, have a clue of what's going on, that'd be great.
I think they just believe their culture can fix them. And it can't. You just went over 3 of them. I went over them. I mean, there's a ton of them. You can't overcome knuckleheadedness. You can't. We'll attempt to beat the house coming up next. Final hour. Shelley time coming up at 11:33. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener. Do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter, and fall is in the air, and that really gets me going for delicious, savory breakfast like the Bob Evans new value menu with a whole lot of fresh breakfast options for just $5.99. I love the new griddle stacker with a sausage patty, American cheese, bacon, and a fried egg. But get this, 3 mini hot cakes. You're going to love it too. Here's the best part, the price. It's right in your wheelhouse. It's in my wheelhouse. It's starting at only $7.99. Stacked high and price low. Check them out at bobevans.com or on the new mobile app.
At Baths R Us, we're terrible roofers. We stink at installing siding. And don't ever call us for your kitchen remodel. But if you want a stunning, beautiful bathroom makeover in just 2 or 3 days, now that's when you want to call us. See, unlike most contractors these days, we offer only one service, bathroom remodeling. We don't spread ourselves thin by doing roofing or siding and a bunch of other stuff. Nope. At Baths R Us, we dedicate every company resource into mastering the craft of bath transformations. It's why we're the Midwest's biggest 5-star family-owned bathroom company. And it's why we have the happiest customers. Just check out our Google reviews. Baths R Us. We're terrible roofers, but we're awesome bathroom remodelers. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsrus.com. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Welcome, Columbus, to the all-new Toyota Direct. We've expanded our showroom, enhanced our service with 6 lanes, 85 bays, and 65 techs. Enjoy the new lounges with all of the comforts and extras. And now get 0% for up to 72 months on 100% of all new 24 and 25 Toyotas. Come see your all-new Toyota Direct, the area's #1 Toyota dealer.
0% for 72 on a new 24 Tundra with approved credit. Max financed MSRP on vehicle. Cannot combine offers. Must take delivery from dealer stock by 10/31/24. See dealer for details.
Okay, everyone, what did you think of the chocolate bar?
It's too chewy.
Feels kind of chalky.
Too much nougat.
I need to go brush my teeth.
Business is booming for Steph's small marketing research firm.
After all these focus groups, there's only one conclusion. I need more researchers.
And she's way too busy researching.
Does this have peanuts?
To waste time researching resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Meet Cheryl.
Hey.
She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. The Blue Jackets open the regular season tonight. CBJ will start on the road for their first two, skating in Minnesota Thursday against the Wild. Face-off from St. Paul is 8 p.m. You can hear that one on The Fan with pregame coverage tonight at 7:30. Jackets will be in Colorado Saturday versus the Avalanche before coming back to Nationwide Arena next Tuesday against the Panthers. In baseball today, the Guardians face elimination in Game 4 of the ALDS. Tigers are going to host that one at 6:08. Detroit leads the series 2-1. A Cleveland win will force Game 5 Saturday at Progressive Field. The other ALDS has the Yankees leading the Royals 2-1. New York's going to host Game 4 tonight at 8. In college football, number 2 Ohio State's at number 3 Oregon Saturday night at 7:30. Hear from Ohio State's head coach at noon today on the Ryan Day Show. This update is sponsored by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View their full selection of vehicles online at germaintoyota.net.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, final hour here on a Thursday. Time to beat the house. Hit it, boys.
Beat the house.
All righty, last week, 7-7 for the both of you. I'm sure Reeser's
pathetic.
Plenty okay with that because he gets to stay atop the standings with a comfortable lead.
Oh, dude, I'm not catching him. I'm just trying to get back to 500. 7-7 for me is a win, the way that I've done NFL so far this year. So I'll take 7-7 for Reese. Unacceptable.
I'll do better.
His greatness.
We'll say all the spreads were just plus 100. Everybody goes home with the money that they came with.
I'll say this. My picks were perfect. The teams let me down.
There you go.
I like that. All right, you know what? We got a couple games going on. And it starts tonight, all right? 49ers and the Seahawks. This one's in Seattle. Divisional matchup for Thursday Night Football. Of course, going to be on the Zon. 49ers minus 3.5 on the road.
Is San Francisco going to lose again? It's at Seattle. I don't think they're going to lose, but I do think it will be tight. I like the Niners. I'm sorry. I like Seattle in the points here. Niners by a field goal.
Yeah, I really like the 3.5 our alley bookie is giving us. So I'm going to take the Niners to win, but Seattle covers plus the 3.5.
We have more London football. I hope Rich Eisen and Kurt Warner didn't go anywhere. I imagine that they didn't. It's going to be the Jaguars and the Bears. A couple number 1 picks. Trevor Lawrence against Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams is Bears minus 2.5.
I think last week was a little bit of a mirage for the Jaguars. This is, I guess, technically their home game.
Mm-hmm.
Feels like more so than Jacksonville. But give me Chicago here to win outright.
I'm going to go the other way on this. I think Jacksonville maybe found something a little bit. They got Bigsby now who can run it. I think they got some weapons that can go a little bit. I like Jacksonville winning this one outright. Give me the Jaguars.
Over to the 1 p.m. games, we got Cardinals and Packers. Jordan Love, I believe, returned a couple weeks ago. Packers are minus 5 at home.
Yeah, I tell you what this screams to me. This screams like a knock at the back door. Bootsy, who's at the back door? Check through the window. I can't see, Dad. Doesn't look like there's anybody here. Get up on a stool. look down. Oh, Dad, it's Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray's at the back door with the frisky Cardinals.
Shaming, come on.
I like Green Bay winning by a field goal. So I will take Arizona in the points.
I'm going to take Arizona plus the 5 as well. I was thinking you were going to say who's running through that back door. Oh, it's the route man. That was going to be where I was going to go.
Could have gone that way too.
But this does scream close game. Packers win. Cardinals are able though to cover.
Colts and Titans. Joe Flacco, I believe he is the number 1 quarterback in QB rating. By the way, I think Anthony Richardson is last, so if that tells you anything about that quarterback situation. Colts -1 in Nashville.
There's one impression I've always wanted to do properly, and that's Mike Francesa, the way he would tell teams they stink. And that's what the Tennessee Titans do. They stink. So give me Flacco again, -1.
Same. Yeah, I think Flacco, he put 350, 3 scores last week. I understand. I can't imagine anyone's betting on Tennessee here. I'm a little curious why the number's the way that it is. I just think Indy's a better team despite all their injuries, and I know they have a lot of them.
Texans are going up to Foxborough. Am I correct in saying this is going to be Drake May's starting debut?
Yep.
It is.
There we go. All right, so it's a new era in New England, but Houston is -7. That's a lot of points on the road.
I don't love that amount of points. I wish it were 6.5 because 7 feels right at it. But a rookie quarterback, I think they get home a little bit. It's hard to imagine him coming out and being lights out, and they have no weapons, nobody to throw to. I think Houston wins this one by a couple of scores. I will throw the points. Give me Houston.
Even without Nico Collins, I like C.J. Stroud and the Texans here -7.
Divisional matchup down south. Buccaneers -3.5. Ooh, Reeser, your favorite quarterback. Baker Mayfield is going to be playing at the Saints. This is going to be Spencer Rattler starting in this game for NOLA.
Also, that's not true. Joe Flacco is my favorite quarterback.
I said it sarcastically.
Haven't you been listening to this program?
I was sarcastic.
Give me Baker and the Bucks here, -3.5.
Yeah, same. I think the Bucks are just a much better team, and Rattler debut. Honestly, folks, I think if you could get this one right now, run out and get it. I don't see a scenario. I think New Orleans is kind of fool's gold anyway, so I think this just exacerbates the problem. I'm with you. I get Tampa Bay big.
And here is your biggest spread of the week, and it's the Browns going to the Link. Eagles -9 at home.
It's just too much.
Let me just ask you this. Right now I'm seeing on ESPN it's 9.5 in favor of the Eagles. You want the 9.5 for the Eagles? All right, well, that's what we'll bet it at. I'll talk to my bookie in the alleyway after the show.
Yeah, talk to your guy. I mean, I just think it's a little bit too much. I think Cleveland will play better. I don't know that they're going to play well enough to win, and I think Philly will win the game. I think it's going to be kind of an ugly game. I like Philly winning, but I got Cleveland covering the now 9.5.
Reese?
I don't know, man.
It's a lot.
I just don't know. I said it last week that you could have given me the Commanders -10.5, and I'd have taken Washington. And this was before they won by 20 some odd points.
Yeah, you would have been right. Good read by you.
But I think the Eagles offense struggles a little bit more so than the Washington Commanders one does. And I hope, as a Browns fan, that defensively this can be a show some damn pride. Please. So this is a heart pick. Browns plus the 9.5.
All right. And
they lose, but
there's the kiss of death right there.
I'm going to be honest with you. If they don't cover 9.5, if they get housed, then there will be changes before the next home game against Cincinnati. There's no scenario where you can get housed back-to-back on the road and then go home and just say, yeah, we're going to keep rolling what we're doing. We're really working. I just don't see that.
The state of Maryland is going to cannibalize itself, and this is going to be a good one. Commanders at Ravens. Ravens 6.5-point favorites against our favorite quarterback collectively, Jaden Daniels.
Is this you or me?
I think it's you.
Okay. So I look at this one and I say, Baltimore is giving 6.5? As good as Washington's been playing? I mean, Jaden Daniels didn't even have to play in the fourth quarter. Tells me somebody knows something. I like the Ravens covering and winning by a touchdown.
I like the Ravens to win, but I like the Commanders to cover. This feels like another, 41-38 kind of game? Like the Ravens had last week?
Yeah.
Oh, we got some disagreement. I like it. Let's advance to the 4 o'clock slate. This is going to be an AFC West matchup. Chargers -3 heading to Mile High. Can Bo Nix cover a 3-point spread?
I think so. No Chargers, no. I don't have the button. I'm playing the music on my end. Give me the Broncos plus the 3.
Chargers coming off the bye, right? They were down last week. I like them coming off the bye. Denver feeling themselves. They looked gorgeous in those uniforms, the Orange Crush uniforms last week. I think the Chargers get right and win by, what do I got to cover here? 3?
Just 3?
Yeah, they'll handle it. I think the Chargers win by a touchdown.
Ooh, I'm torn on this one. I'm a Steelers fan, and I got a cousin on the Raiders coaching staff. Steelers go out to the desert, -3 on the road.
Big one for Justin Fields. It's a very big game for Justin Fields. Russell Wilson now a full participant back in practice, so he's kind of looking over his shoulder a little bit. I think it will be predominantly Steelers fans. By the way, as good of a uniform back-to-back as you're going to get, Pittsburgh against Dallas and Pittsburgh against the Raiders, that's gorgeous across the board. I like the Steelers covering the 3 and getting back to their winning ways.
Same. I see this as who's quarterback in the, is it O'Connell?
Aiden O'Connell.
For the Raiders.
Good call. I should have mentioned it.
I see this as a bunch of field goals being kicked, and the Steelers get the win, and they cover.
The Dallas Cowboys are going to play a game that hopefully does not end beyond 1 in the morning. We got Lions and Cowboys. Lions -3 going down to Big D.
Give me the Lions here. I think I'd have taken them at 4 or 5. I think Detroit's really good. I think Dallas is good. I think Detroit's really good.
Yeah, I'm with you. Just all the injuries to Dallas. I mean, I know they won last week doing that way. I don't think that they'll do that to Detroit. Detroit's coming off the bye as well, so give me Detroit. I'll throw the 3.
I don't think any of us are going to be watching this one, but we'll throw it on the slate anyway. Falcons -6 at Panthers. Whew. Any Dolphins fans out there?
Yeah, this strikes me as Atlanta and Dalton with a back door. I like Atlanta to win. I think Carolina covers the 6.
I was right there with you, and then I remember picking against the Falcons last week. So I'm going to do that again. Give me the Panthers plus the 6.
Sunday Night Football, just how we drew it up. Bengals and Giants. Bengals -3.5 going up to MetLife.
Giants are like good now.
Are they? Yeah.
This is where we're at. Like they've won a bunch. They went out to Seattle to win. I mean, they're good.
Still, I think the Bengals need this one, and I think they get it. Give me Cincinnati to win and cover.
I wish the hook. I don't love the hook. I think that's what makes it. There's no way in hell Cincinnati loses this game. They cannot lose this game, and I don't think they will. I think they'll win by 7. I'll take Cincinnati as well.
And we'll round it out with Monday Night Football. It's going to be the Bills going to the Jets. We talked earlier in the show about the Jets and their coaching situation. They got some moving pieces. Bills -2.5.
Real quick, do we want to pick that Monday?
Yeah, we'll pick it Monday.
Okay, we can pick it Monday show.
Yeah, we picked that one on Monday. Lots could change. God knows the Jets could be on to another coordinator by the time you get to that
a
game.
new
Who
interim.
knows? An interim coordinator, a new play caller. Who knows what could happen there? Fun one tonight with San Francisco and Seattle. That's a good one to see kind of how that one shakes out tonight on that's on your Amazon Prime, as it were. Remember, a London game this week as well. Jacksonville and Chicago is your London game, so you're going to have all of the football that you want all Sunday, all time long. Buckeyes traveling out to Eugene. They will fly tomorrow. This is one you've had circled. There will be an atmosphere. There will be some juice to it. We'll get into it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
I'll be honest. I'm really worried about my kids and grandkids. I never thought we'd be facing a national abortion ban in this country.
That's Kim. She lives in Cincinnati and is a grandma to 6.
If something happened to my family, I'd want them to have all the help they need. But with a national ban, they'll have nowhere to turn.
Bernie Moreno supports a national abortion ban, and he has said he is 100% against abortion with no exceptions. And if Moreno's in the Senate, he could be the deciding vote to pass a national abortion ban.
Last year, we voted to protect abortion in Ohio. Now, Bernie Moreno wants to get rid of that completely. It's simple. I don't trust Bernie Moreno to do what's right for my family, he should never be Ohio's senator.
Your Community PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Your Community PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. Learn more at yourcommunitypac.org.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived. The only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com, and use promo code JUSTSPORTS to get a welcome bonus up to $100. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 or older and present in Ohio. If you or anyone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling too much? I'm Abdullah Mahmood, problem gambling counselor at Mary Haven, where we offer in-person, virtual, and group options. We're here for you no matter what, and that's a bet you can actually count on this football season. Go to maryhaven.com today.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Listen to Sherrod Brown. When he wanted your vote.
On major issues, I'll stand up to the president of my own party.
But Sherrod Brown doesn't stand up to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. He votes with them 97% of the time. Brown supported Biden and Harris on radical issues like amnesty for 11 million illegal immigrants. Brown voted to give nearly $1 billion in COVID stimulus checks to convicted criminals in prison, even the Boston Marathon bomber. And Brown voted to give taxpayer-funded health care to illegals who get amnesty and Social Security benefits, too. So the next time Sherrod Brown tells you,
I'll stand up to the president of my own party.
Ignore it, because 31 years in Washington has changed Sherrod Brown. He's not for us anymore, and he's way too liberal for Ohio. American Crossroads paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.americancrossroads.org.
Is thinning hair or a receding hairline making you self-conscious? Try Hair Grow from New Nordic. Stop feeling embarrassed about thinning hair and start feeling your best with Hair Grow.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Let's get a look at that weather report heading into your Thursday. A lot of sunshine today. It'll be on the cool side with a high around 65. Tonight, chilly with a low around 40. Tomorrow, we'll have a few more clouds, but it will be dry. It'll be warmer with a high of 73. Saturday will be dry with a high of 75. Our next chance of rain will be Saturday night going into Sunday. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Well, you remember the first time you failed to perform in the bedroom? You probably just laughed it off. No big deal. Then it happened a second time, a third time, or more. And now you know that you got yourself a problem. And erectile dysfunction can be an intimacy destroyer. Research shows that men draw apart from their partners when ED affects the sex life, and the condition causes stress, anxiety, depression. Even worse, a man's partner can even blame themselves when ED becomes a problem. And certainly when dealing with issues of erectile dysfunction. You need better medical practices to get that better outcome you want. And if you suffer from ED, you want a good outcome. And that's where Tri-State Men's Health comes in. Their practices of better medicine. They're the leaders in treating men's sexual health issues here in Central Ohio. Here's what you do. If this sounds like you, deal with it no more. They have treatments that work where the pills and herbals fail. Treatments with success rates well over 90%. So do yourself a favor. Schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health here in town today. Initial visit's $99. Includes medical consult, licensed medical provider, a TNPSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. Now, if the test dose doesn't work, here's the deal. The office visit is free, so it's a no-lose win-win for you. Give a call today. Get your sex life back on track. 800-900-9654 or tristatemenshealth.com today. 2 locations conveniently located. Quick off 270 in Hilliard and near Medical Mile in Westerville on that side of things as well. 2 things as I opened up the old Wall Street Journal app this morning that caught my attention. Number 1 is this headline. For high school boys, it's suddenly cool to smell old. Colognes, some from the 90s, are having a resurgence with a new fan base. Teens obsessed with building an expensive collection of fragrances. Oh, you don't say. Oh, you don't say. I had 6 of these little punks at my house last night, and it smelled like a Sephora down there. They were all spritzed up. I said, why are you wearing this stuff amongst each other? Go date girls and then put on your cologne, you bozos. But they all had it in, and it was it's all a big deal. That's what they asked for their birthdays, Christmas, all this stuff is more and more of that. The other one that got my attention, where is it? I just saw it. Here it is. McDonald's, this just in the last couple of minutes popped. McDonald's is rolling out a chicken Big Mac at U.S. restaurants. Where do we stand on the Big Mac, and where do we stand on a chicken Big Mac?
I can't remember the last time I had a Big Mac. I think it's been a grand total of 1 time in my life.
Really? What was your go-to McDonald's order? Like as a kid?
Chicken nuggets.
Chicken nuggets.
I'm a McNuggets kid forever. Like, still am. I don't frequent. If I go fast food, I go Wendy's.
I got you.
So this
Good
does
Central
not.
Ohioan.
Right. This does not interest me. A chicken Big Mac. A McChicken Big Mac is what they. I mean, I've seen it. People have tried it, and I've gotten reviews from it on X, and it just feels like too much.
I like Big Macs. I don't get them tremendously often. I'm not a picky eater, so if you put this thing in front of me, yeah, I'm going to eat it. No question.
I'm curious about what took them so long to do this, to try this, because the Big Mac, the Big Mac is essentially the In-N-Out animal style. It's very similar. The only difference is the sauce is slightly different and grilled onions versus raw. But other than that, it's a pretty similar operation in terms of a flavor profile. Speaking of In-N-Out, there is an In-N-Out in Eugene. So Buckeyes making the trip out there that maybe if you have not had their burgers, you can get one there. What I would tell you, if you've not been to In-N-Out and you're thinking about doing it on your West Coast trip with your Buckeyes, don't worry about the fries. Skip those. Go, if anything, do a couple of the burgers in lieu of fry because their fries are, as the kids would say, mid. I think they're quite mid. I think the burgers hold up quite well, but the fries are mid. Eugene is going to be a fun place. We talked about this earlier. It's an environment that everyone is going to want to be a part of. It's a game that is really 4 years in the making. Remember, this was supposed to take place in the 2020 season. It was canceled due to COVID. For this Buckeye team, this almost has to feel like they've been waiting for it forever. It's been on the schedule. You have played a bunch of nobodies up until this point, and so you finally get a chance to play on that national stage in prime time, everybody watching. Josh Frier lamented the idea of playing on the national stage against the Ducks.
Yeah, it's a test for us. I'm not a big I don't like it on national television because if you get messed up, everybody knows. The reporters, the announcers, everybody. But at the same time, you got to embrace it too. I think last year, personally, when it was a big game, I would kind of shy away from it. But now I feel more experienced and just ready to play the game. And it's a cool environment because you never get to experience anything like this ever again in your life.
That is, quite frankly, an incredibly candid answer out of Josh Frier about playing on a national stage and kind of the anxiety that comes with it. It's rare that you get an athlete speak that frankly of, hey, everyone will notice if I make a mistake. And a year ago, it bothered me. I commend him for speaking about that. I wasn't anticipating that being the answer to that. I obviously hadn't heard all of these, but that jumped out to me of this is a starting tackle on the number 2 team in the country, and acknowledging that, yeah, on the big stage comes big pressure. You don't get that very often.
No, and I had wondered, if those guys feel that. Because when you have games that are 3:30 or you games at noon, sure, especially for these guys this season, like, I know a lot of people tuned in for Michigan State because it was prime time. I know a lot of people probably tuned in for Iowa that are Ohio State fans, but in the 3 previous games, you just had Ohio State fans. Now it's everybody that's going to be looking at a game like this. College Game Day is going to be in town. He's seen in past weeks how Alabama's felt with having the eyes of the country on them, how Georgia's felt with the eyes of the country on them, and no showing that first half against Alabama. And so these, 20, 21-year-olds, like, that's a ton of pressure. And it gets ramped up, with social media, with the ability to, during, after the game, let them know how they perform. Because it's not like they don't check that stuff.
In a world of coach speak, we got to really appreciate when somebody really lets their guard down like that. Even if they say something that we don't like, even if they say something that may make themselves look bad, man, that's a pretty impressive answer and just drop dead honest. And, he probably wouldn't have admitted that last year into a microphone. And so, we understand why. But I appreciate him for giving that answer, because there are a lot of times where there's a lot of towing the company line or, trying to just give a certain answer really just for the sake of getting through it, because there isn't a ton of benefit that comes from those guys dropping a really good line that we all play on radio stations and people write about in the paper and all that stuff. So I give him a lot of credit for admitting that.
I think it's, I too, I commend the vulnerability. I commend the honesty. And the reality is if you are in that spot, that it goes away pretty quickly, like as soon as you snap it. As soon as toe hits ball, it's on. And then at that point, that stuff starts to go away. And what you have to do, it doesn't matter what level you play at. If you're in the NFL, you're playing little guy football, wherever you're playing, once you get into it, it's about taking that nervous energy and using it for a positive force in your play. And if we're talking about Josh Frier on the offensive line, what jumps out to me is the easiest thing you can do as an offensive lineman is road grade. That's the easiest. The rest of it is when it gets dicey. It's pass pro and all of that. But the easiest thing to do is line up and block the dude in front of you into the ground. So my guess is what you're going to see from a Buckeye plan on Saturday is a heavy dose of that. I think you're going to see a lot of 1, a lot of 32, and that offensive line going forward off of that. And I think that will allow for Josh to have a much different impact on it, because all of a sudden you're just road grading and you almost forget where you are, and that's an easy thing. And I would be shocked if that was not the plan for Chip Kelly Saturday night in Eugene. Obviously, tomorrow we will hit the matchups on the Buckeyes and the Ducks. What happens when Oregon has the ball? What happens when Ohio State has the ball? All of those things as we continue to get you set, as we have all week long for the Buckeyes and the Ducks out in Eugene on Saturday night. The Blue Jackets drop the puck. A very complicated, challenging season awaits. Shelly time is up next. There is excitement with any opener, but this one will be unlike any we've seen before. We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. The Daily Coach Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by Credit Union of Ohio and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
It's a Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass. Just in general, the play of your linebackers and how they've progressed, in particular Sonny Styles in his position transition.
Yeah, I think when you're making that transition, you need a lot of reps, and the more reps you get, the faster you're going to play. Sonny played fast on Saturday, and we're going to need him to here. These guys will do more spread you out, and so there's going to be a lot more ground to cover in this game. But yeah, he and Cody, both, really played well in that game, and it's a little bit more of an inside drill game, a little more in the box game than this game will be. But yeah, I mean, when we're playing well up front and, allowing the linebackers to run downhill, then it really, frees those guys up to make plays. And, we're going to need that here this week.
Okay, we'll have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite repair, Safelite replace.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Coach, we see another game where Will Howard gets a good start. He goes 6 for 6 right out of the gate. And is that, as a coach, when you look at a quarterback getting off to a good start, does that do some things for you that kind of set up what you want to call, what you want to run?
Yeah. Well, I feel like coming out of the first drive, and then the first drive of the second half, we had a good mix there, and part of that is, like you said, getting completions, and I think when you do that, you stay in a rhythm, and you're keeping the defense on their heels. So we're always looking for that balance, but the execution on those drives to keep the ball moving is critically important, and it's more than just the quarterback; it's the protection, it's the receivers running the routes, and so those will be more contested this week against a really good defense, out at Oregon, and it is good to start fast because it sets the tone for the entire game. But you're going to have to play 4 quarters in this game.
This is the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
What do football and finances have in common? The team you play with makes a big difference. Credit Union of Ohio is your financial team to help you save and spend like a winner. Whether you're looking to make a big purchase or find ways to build up your savings, you'll always work with a team player at Credit Union of Ohio. Navigate your next big money play easily through Credit Union of Ohio's website at cuofohio.org. That's cuofohio.org. NCUA insured, equal housing lender.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations, in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty interior paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior one-coat hide color collection.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check the kickoff time first before showing up at the stadium.
What? The slot's full already?
Final score of today's game.
You said kickoff was at 3. It was last week.
That's not how it works, Bob. Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
The gloves. Shelly time.
Hard to believe, but here we are. Jackets dropping the puck on the regular season tonight in Minnesota. Time for our first edition of Shelly Time of the season. Typically with Jode, we like to have a lot of fun, and we talk about where he's eating and where he's staying and those type of things that also get you set for the game. But this is the first time that you and I have spoken on air about the incredible tragedy of Johnny and the way that and his brother and the way that the Blue Jackets organization has dealt with it. You among those, obviously just grueling and brutal and all of it. You've gone through a training camp. I just want to commend the organization, you, everybody, Jode, for the way you guys have done the best in an absolutely impossible circumstance. How do players play? You don't have a choice, right? The puck's going to drop, you got to play. But how do you try to compartmentalize grief like that?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's, you still are in that area where you can't believe what happened. And, the absence of Johnny, where he's had the most joy in his life was at the arena with his teammates. And, you still sense that, on the plane and in the locker room and in practice, that, once in a while it just hits you hard. And it's something they're going to deal with together as a group. They spend a lot of time talking about the good memories of Johnny Goodrow and his brother Matthew, and just some stories about dinner and how he was a picky eater, and that comes up at lunch, and just different routines, and the smile that and the excitement and the passion he had for hockey. I think they're just going to work through it. I think that his jersey is hanging in the stall at home, and it gets packed to come on the road, so it's hanging in the Minnesota Wild dressing room here today at game day. They're gonna have a lot of positive emotions too, to try to do things for Johnny, or what would Johnny do, and I think that's the right approach. And at the end of the day, game one is tonight, day one of the season, and there'll be some moments, but they're going to try to work together and pull together to just come together as a team and really try to exemplify his joy and passion for the game and play that way.
That's the best way you could pay tribute, isn't it? How would Johnny play, and try to play that way with the joy that he played with, my friend. This is an all-new operation. We'll get to your new experience as well, but we've got a new front office. We've got new coach. We've got a bunch of young kids. Let's start there. What is the biggest difference that you've noticed through camp with this regime versus the former regime?
Well, I think there's a certain amount of stability that has been provided here with camp. Don Waddell comes in from Carolina. He's an experienced GM, but he also ran the business side of the Carolina Hurricanes. And there's a real unity feeling within the organization, which I think is a great start for as far as the players in the dressing room understanding what they're a part of. I think that's such a key element for any organization or business, is, really understanding what you're a part of here in Columbus, Ohio. And the new guys coming in, I think they see and feel that with Don Waddell. Then you go to Dean Evison, who, this guy has so much passion when you talk to him. He's easygoing, but he puts up boundaries and details. You watch practice, there's a lot of little details as a player in drills that I like. He's cleaned a few things up as far as just, skate the extra stride, be in this position. When you're circling in a support position for the puck, make sure you're below a certain spot in the zone. Just little things that all the players now can hold each other accountable to that. I think that's such a great start. It was a clean camp. I think he's still figuring out the players. He told his assistant coaches, he said, hey, I don't want any preconceived notions. Don't tell me about one player. I want to find out about them on my own. And he's done that, and I think that's such a smart and healthy way to jump into a new environment. And then when you look at the players, I like the veterans that they brought in. James Van Riemsdyk, he's played and been coached very well. He's with Boston last year in the playoffs. In a young group, second overall pick behind Patrick Kane. He's on a line with Fantilli. I like that. There's conversations that are to be had. There's situations that Fantilli's going to be in. I was 35 in Philly when JVR was in his second year in the National Hockey League. And, there were things he was doing, and it was me, him, and Pronger was there as well. We spent a lot of time grinding him. And, he appreciates that. Even to this day, we're still great friends. And so he's carrying that now down the road for Fantilli, Sillinger, Johnson, those young guys, and I love that. I mean, that's the way it should be. And now they picked up a couple guys on waivers. LeBanc was on a PTO. He comes in. They picked up Austin Reese off waivers the other day. And I like that because, everyone talks about the young guys and they should be, why aren't they in the lineup and why are they in Cleveland? Well, I think Dean Evison needs to set the tone for the big team before any other of these young guys come in and try to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I think as a young guy, it's good to come in and be like, you will open the door and be like, oh, this is how it goes. And the veterans have it as a well-oiled machine. I think it's such an important step. So I like a lot about what's going on. I mean, losing Jenner in this situation, one of the best leaders in the National Hockey League. He was moved to wing for camp. He loves playing center, but he was starting to adjust there, and he fell down in practice. He's out. Voronkov, those are two big holes, but they've adjusted on the fly. I'm excited to see what they bring tonight on the ice.
Yeah, I was listening to Evison on Inside Edge and just listened to him talk. He seems exactly what the doctor would order for a team like this. Let's be honest. This is a roster it's up against it a little bit, to say the least. It's a young roster. We have bright young stars, but something you've harped on a lot, buddy, is they got to be brought along the right way. You can't force them into the fire. There seems to be an accountability with him, and it seems like he could be someone who could grow with these guys. Do you sense that as well?
Absolutely. I mean, he loves being a teammate. He loves his coaching staff, and that's infectious because these young players need to understand they are teammates. They're going to need each other throughout the season, and mentally, physically, in battles. And I think just watching him command himself and empower, like a guy like Werenski, okay? Jenner's out. Werenski's a guy now that's been around for 8 years. Doesn't say a lot, but he spent his off-season training with the Quinn brothers up in Michigan, or the Hughes brothers, Quinn Hughes, Luke Hughes, and all those. There's three of them, and Luke. Yeah, and he just said what he learned was like the accountability on the ice in practice. They were yelling at each other. If someone gave a pass and he didn't receive it, it's a small detail, but these guys are so demanding when they're on the ice and want to get the most out of it that they acknowledge that. And, Zach said he brought it to practice the other day where, he gave someone a pass, it rolled off the stick. And he's like, I want to do more of that. I said, Zach, you should be doing more than that. That's the only way the team takes the next step. And so him, Corrali, Goodbranson, you bring in Monahan, who's been on other teams and can be a leader, Van Riemsdyk. It's critical that they take the coach's message, which is demanding, and make sure everyone kind of follows that.
With all the change, you have change as well, my friend. From Rims, Are we going to go with Mearsy? Are we going to go with Mearsy? Is that where we're going?
I'm going to call him Steve, but we call him Mearsy. I mean, everyone calls him Mearsy. Yeah. I'm going to try Steve or Steven.
Steve or Steven. All right, Mearsy is what we're going to roll with probably. Rims was never Jeff. He was always Rims. What can the fans expect on the broadcast tonight in terms of you guys and just a difference of style?
Well, Steve's a pro. He's been doing this for 20 years. He's been a Blue Jackets fan for a long time. He's from the Pittsburgh area, and he's thrilled at this opportunity. He was doing TV in Pittsburgh and got they changed things in ownership. He went to radio there. He took it on the chin and just did his job. He's a pro, and he has a great call, an understanding of the team. He's gone to every single exhibition game. He's met the entire organization. I think it'll be a smooth transition. There is no Jeff Rimmer. We know that. I mean, he's a classic.
Just one.
He's been the face of the Blue Jackets for 20 years. And so it'll be a change. But I'm excited for Mearsy and myself to get in the seat tonight and kind of bring the fans the stories of the game, the action of the game, and have some fun with them. He's an easygoing, fun guy. So it'll be smooth.
Well, we look forward to the broadcast. Look forward to talking to you again before every Jackets game with a little bit of Shelly time has become customary and tradition. We thank you for your time, buddy. Have a good one tonight. Enjoy the opener.
All right. Thanks, buddy. Exciting night. Go Jackets.
Absolutely. A little bit of Shelly time for you here on a Thursday. Jackets opening up with the Wild fan pregame at 7:30. Next up will be the home opener, rather. They play another one in Colorado over the weekend, and then the home opener is next Tuesday night against Florida. Three things on a Thursday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services, even for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye. Adios. Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Right now, save up to $250 on Cooper tires, and shocks and struts are buy 3, get 1 free.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Morning Juice.
If you can't sub and 20 seconds is obscenely gross, and get whatever you need unless there's guys who are just being lazy.
Morning Juice.
Sponsored by Affinity Whole Health.
Weekday mornings at 6. The Fan.
In his campaign ads, Sherrod Brown thinks everything's pretty funny. But it's not when you look at his voting record. Brown voted to allow transgender biological males to compete in girls' sports. Unfair and dangerous. Brown introduced a bill letting transgender biological men into girls' locker rooms and girls' bathrooms. That's just not right. And Brown supported allowing puberty blockers and sex change surgery for children. Migrants are flooding into Ohio, but Brown voted for government handouts to illegal immigrants and voted 10 times to protect sanctuary cities that release dangerous illegal immigrant criminals onto Ohio's streets. Sorry, Sherrod, your seriously bad votes are no joke. And Ohio doesn't think it's funny. Sherrod Brown has let us down. He's way too liberal for Ohio. Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
This college football moment is brought to you by ServPro.
In 2021, LSU finished with a disappointing 6-7 record. Luckily for them, a new head coach in Chip Kelly and a quarterback from Arizona State, Jaden Daniels, arrived in Baton Rouge. They lead LSU to the 2022 SEC Championship game and defeated Purdue in the Citrus Bowl to finish 10-4. Kelly and Daniels made that 2021 season like it never even happened.
ServPro, like it never even happened.
All your favorite fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do we on the poll?
The Daily Fan poll asks, with the Guardians trailing the Tigers 2-1 in their best of 5 ALDS, what will be the outcome of the series? 40% of you out there say it's over today. 48% say Cleveland's going to win in 5, so they win today, and then they force that Game 5 on Saturday. Detroit winning that Game 5 Saturday, 11% of the respondents to the Daily Fan Poll.
What did you make of how they managed early with the pinch hitters yesterday? To me, it made them pretty nervy.
So, this was in my 3 things where A.J. Hinch out-schemed Stephen Vogt yesterday. Because Vogt was just trying to it was Vogt playing catch up.
It's like he treated it like it was a Game 7.
Yeah, the idea Manzardo's not hitting in your lineup because you're worried about how he does against righties when you've got a lineup that hasn't been hitting well at all. And Manzardo's been one of your better hitters over the last month. Like Josh Naylor's brutal. I mean, he's not the only one, but not to shoehorn too much baseball into this, but Hinch outmanaged Vogt yesterday.
Yeah, that's kind of the view I had as well. Time for 3 things on a Thursday.
1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Custom Air. Custom Air. Custom Solutions. Custom Comfort.
So number 1 for me, one of the things we did when we acquired Buddy Garrity, now he's almost exactly 2 years old. His birthday coming up here shortly. One of the things that we did with the Golden Retriever is we made the basement his home. And so we crate trained him. So he sleeps in his crate every night. He loves it. He walks in there when he's tired and he goes to sleep. And that's it. He's not really comfortable in any other part of the house other than the basement. He gets twitchy and nervy almost anywhere else. But in the basement, it's home to him. It's what he's known, and it's where he likes to be. The hitch in the giddy up here is when you have a sleepover with 6 degenerate 12-year-olds, what do you do with Buddy Garrity? Because he's not comfortable anywhere. And it's become quite the conundrum. So I tried to do like a makeshift like buddy spot in my office upstairs last night where he and I were able to watch the game. But eventually I went to sleep. My wife said he was a mess. So we got a Buddy Garrity problem with the basement on the sleepovers. The only thing I told the kids last night is if you feed him anything and he gets sick, you're cleaning it up. And that seems to be a threat that works consistently.
Yeah, it's incredible just like the small little things that will absolutely wreck a night with a dog, especially a younger dog with high energy.
He wasn't having it. Was not comfortable anywhere except where he wanted to be in his home.
How did he handle all the cologne?
Oh, yeah. Was he just constantly sniffing up in the air for just the sense change?
Just couldn't even
10 seconds.
Between that and they were just eating junk. So, he was just nose to ground looking for every amount of junk that they dropped.
I think the cologne is what gave away their position when they were ding-dong ditching.
You might be right.
The camera.
Let it off, yeah.
In 1984, Carl H. Pohlad bought the Minnesota Twins for $44 million. Yesterday, his son Joe says they're interested in selling the team, and it could fetch more than $1.5 billion. Just your daily reminder that the business of sport is the one you want to get into if you've got a cool $1.5 billion laying around.
It's crazy.
That return.
Just exponentially up
20
every
years.
year. Yeah.
Ohio State has a big 2 versus 3 matchup this weekend, but it may not be the only 2 versus 3 matchup they play within a calendar month. So, obviously, they got Oregon this weekend, and they got Penn State looming on November 2nd. Penn State has to beat USC and Wisconsin, and then we'll see what happens with Georgia and Texas, but very possible that Ohio State-Penn State is also a 2 versus 3.
Yeah, Paul brought that up, and we'll talk about it a little bit tomorrow when we go around the Big Ten, but USC-Penn State's a monster game for the Nittanies to try to get to exactly what you were kind of forecasting there. Number 2 for me, so the boys just randomly are off today and tomorrow. I think it's like parent-teacher, but then they shoehorn it into some mini fall break. They've only been in school for 8 weeks. I don't know why we need a 5-day weekend right out of the gates here, but they got one anyway. To give you an idea how it's going, she texted me in the first hour of the show. The text just read, "The boys are banned from electronics for the next 2 days, period. Banned," all caps. So swimmingly.
What did they do?
I don't know. It's not going to be good, though. To get that, because what the banning of electronics means now, she has to deal with them more. So that's a heavy punishment to get that for the next 2 days.
And
heavy.
It does feel like she's punishing the parents a little bit. Because now
herself,
you guys are in charge of this.
Yeah, she's going to have to do a lot of parenting.
I don't love the Guardians' chances today. Like I said, I think A.J. Hinch outmanaged Stephen Vogt yesterday. But I picked the Guardians to win it in 5. So, damn it, you can't go 29 innings of scoreless baseball. Can you?
I don't know.
Can you? Good Lord.
I would not. If Detroit scores early, look out.
3-0 should not feel insurmountable, but yesterday it did.
Rothman and Ice are going to have a couple guests on their show a little bit later. It will start at 1. Willie Lanier, Chiefs Hall of Fame linebacker, and Howard Griffith from BTN is going to join. They're going to be talking OSU, Oregon.
Good job out of them. I love that Hall of Famer that they have on Thursday. I think that's really, really cool. Very good job out of them. Finally for me. So I'm back. I'm back on the baseball. Last night sold me. I loved it. I love the energy of it. I love the ability to do that while doing other things. It's the perfect thing to kind of have on in the background to flip. It fits everything that I want. I watched more baseball last night than I've watched the entire season. Period. Truly. So I'm in tonight. I'm going to watch. One's on TNT, one's on TBS. Watch the Guards, see how that goes, and I'll have the football game on the third TV.
Yeah, I mean, go Guardians. Thanks to the Blue Jackets, they dropped off a couple cool things for us. They've got the 1321 Goudreau pin that you can buy next Tuesday at Nationwide. The proceeds of those pins go to the Johnny and Matthew Goudreau Foundation. Also, best of luck tonight to Steve Mears. Mears is going to be on the call for the first time in 20 years. No Jeff Rimmer, so he's got some big shoes to fill, as Jody said in our last segment.
I told you about OSU and Oregon in my first thing. And my third thing, I'm going to remind you that, kind of an important game. You may want to hear the coach's thoughts. All you got to do is not change your radio dial, because the Ryan Day Show is coming up here at the top of the hour.
It starts next. We're back tomorrow on the Football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tired of large point spreads and lackluster matchups? Us too. Good news. It's Oregon Week. More good news. You picked the right radio station. The Fan. This is a Fan Action Update.
Download the Prime Sports Ohio app today or visit primesportsbook.com and use the promo code JUSTSPORTS for a welcome bonus of up to $100. Thursday night football tonight has the 49ers, a 3.5-point road favorite at Seattle. The Seahawks are plus 150 on the money line, and we got a nice high over-under total at 49.5. For your Prime Sports Action Update, I'm Scotty Vegas.
This year's starting lineup at Honda Marysville is as strong as ever, so come see us.
Choose from Ohio's largest selection of Hondas and get 0% for 60 on any new CR-V, HR-V, Passport, Pilot, or Ridgeline with a trade.
Honda's built here, Honda's sold here. Honda Marysville. We're closer than you think.
0% with approved credit and 80% of MSRP financed. 2010 or newer trade with KBB appraisal at $2,500 or more. Must take delivery from dealer stock 10/31/24.
We've seen it before. Politicians and lobbyists playing games, drawing voting maps to keep power in their hands, not ours. Courts have ruled Ohio's voting districts unconstitutional 7 times, while our communities have been left out again and again. But this November, you have a chance to change that with Issue 1. Issue 1 will make it illegal for politicians to manipulate voting districts for themselves or their own party. Instead, it creates an open, transparent process where a diverse group of citizens, not politicians, will draw the lines. No more backroom deals, no more gerrymandering, just fairer maps that represent our communities. Issue 1 gives you and me the power to ensure everyone's vote counts. This is about real change, a chance to end the games and make our voices heard. So vote yes on Issue 1, fair representation, and power to the people. Paid for by citizens, not politicians.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.
At the Home Depot, we know Saturdays are for college football. That's why we have everything you need to never miss a play, like Bear Dynasty interior paint, their most durable one-coat hide paint ever. From a team color statement wall to a fan cave, complete with a mural honoring Nick Saban's 17-year dynasty.
Hey, I like that idea.
Nothing beats Bear Dynasty Interior Paint. It's everything you need all in one can.
Defend your game time with Bear and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Valid only when tinted to colors from the Bear Dynasty and Marquee Interior One-Coat Hide Color Collection. At the Home Depot, we know you can't control everything. Like when your guests arrive too early for Saturday college football. But you can control your grill. With the Traeger Timberline XL, you can watch the game, not the grill. Monitor your football feast from anywhere using the Traeger app. With the Timberline XL, you can bake, smoke, sear, fry, and saute. That's Desmond Howard level versatility.
Huddle up, the food's done.
Defend your game time with Traeger and the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
This season, get premium tech that inspires joy from Dell Technologies. Bring projects to life with the XPS 16. It delivers supercharged processing for enhanced productivity and freedom to express yourself. Performance-class Dell PCs with Intel Core Ultra processors deliver a dedicated engine to help accelerate AI. Enjoy free shipping, Dell rewards, and expert support. When you get a Dell PC with AI, it gives back. Shop now at Dell.com/deals.